What's going on, guys? KingSithis here. Happy Thanksgiving to everyone. I'm gonna make my own room. All right, I created my own room. Let's do this. Let's call this room minimum wage bad. How about that? All right. I changed the name of the room now.
Sup? You play WoW anymore?
Oh, once in a while. Not really. I've just been kind of grinding Grand Theft Auto. I'll play WoW if I had somebody to play with me. Okay. Let's see if there's any friends of mine online. It may take a little bit for some people to join up, so yeah. But I hope people do join and debate me. Would be cool. You know what I should do? I should get some ties. All right, so I have $200,000. Maybe I should start up a bank heist. Or this heist. Yeah. Vault contents. Let's go.
Okay, here we go. Let's find out what's in that vault. First, we need someone with the right login credentials for their security system. I've tracked the rough location of a member of Duggan's security team using his phone signal. Head over there.
Yeah, go steal some shit.
Yes. Do you play Grand Theft Auto? If so, you should play with me.
Was playing enhanced mode for some time, but a little bit online. I hate anti-cheats since I use Linux LOL, pain to fix up.
Yeah. Yeah, if you use Linux, I hear makes it harder to do certain games like first person shooters or games with like heavy anti-cheat like Grand Theft Auto. When you play Grand Theft Auto online, they have like hard anti-cheat because like people fucking hack this game all the time. So, yeah.
KingSithis, would you like many viewers? Let's make you popular, link.
No, thank you. Fuck you.
Shit. He's on to you. Try and
Where is he?
if you can. Otherwise, you might need to put him down.
Where is he? Oh, he's most likely upstairs. Shit. What do you think about minimum wages? Damn, bro. I feel like John Wick when I play this game, man. I just like took out like 6 guys, no problem. That's kind of why I like Grand Theft Auto so much. Makes me feel like John Wick.
I think minimal wage is a scam. People should make a deal between themselves.
Based. 100%.
That went a bit wrong. Lose the heat and make your way over to the casino.
Artificial intelligence. Happy Thanksgiving to everybody, though. There's a lot of attention to detail in his game. It's kind of crazy. I can't wait to see what they're going to do in the next. I always love shooting that guy. I don't know why.
Have no idea about Ancaps etc., but I do believe systems are a scam, with minimum wage invented to control how wealthy population gets. All Polit icons have millions if you think about it, haha.
Today, simply with the spin of a wheel.
Fundamentally, a minimum wage is a, you know, if you want to work at a job that pays less than what the government says,
I'm in the system. Time to have some fun.
they'll throw you in jail.
You only have a limited amount of time in the security feed, so move fast. Find what's in that vault and sniff around for whatever else they have tucked away down there. You might find something we can use.
Money?
Well, Gov can't say how much is something worth. They can make a law, though I will not obey it anyway. XD.
Yeah, screw the government.
Couldn't be hard, though. Head back to the arcade when you're ready.
I don't care what the government says. It's my life. Just gotta leave the area. How long has it been? 10 minutes only? Sometimes I feel like when I'm by myself, it takes a long time. Minutes seem like hours. All right.
That's always for me since I'm always stoned.
It's a good way to pass the time, you know?
You will meet a small, pale, sweaty stranger.
The movement in this game is a little wonky sometimes.
So yeah, like I said, we're not repeating the same approach. No way. Too hot. We'll be expecting it. We need to be smart here.
How you get a bunker in game, LOL.
You gotta go into the your phone
Why didn't I guess? It may
and
seem
buy
like a
it
simple choice, but
on the internet
still got
through the
food to
properties.
consider.
I'm pretty sure you go like to your phones, money. No, not that one. Boss. No. Foreclose. Yeah, there we go. And then you go to bunkers. You click this one bunker. They're generally like over here. But I normally buy this one. I'm gonna change the see if I change the room title, maybe people will join. Let's see. All right. Let's see if people will join now. Hello.
Did you just change the topic because no one wanted to debate the other one?
Yeah.
I see you. I see you.
I mean, nobody joined. I felt like, damn.
It's
Why
is
do you want?
your
Do you want to talk about it?
mic is significantly worse than it normally is. Is something? Did something happen?
I don't think so.
Oh wait, no, it's better now. It was like really like echoey before.
Oh, I don't know. I'm live streaming.
Yeah, you normally are. It says on your thing, and I've seen like you stream. I got clip farmed by you. Mom,
Hell
I got
yeah.
clip farmed. I'm famous.
Yeah, I love it. That's great. I clip all my the funny moments. I think I try.
The funny moments.
Yeah.
What about the super serious moments?
I feel like generally they're not really that clippable.
I see. I see.
The serious people want to listen to the serious, they can just go on the video.
Yeah, well, some people are serious. Have you considered that some people are serious but have very low attention spans?
I mean, I guess, but I find that the funnier videos tend to be more popular.
Whoa, where'd you come from?
I mean, I have some videos where I talk about my views. Like, my YouTube videos are more serious.
Yeah, I saw some of those. Hold on, what's your most recent one?
What you think?
No, no, sorry, I haven't watched any of your videos. I'm just trying to see, like, an Agorist Primer by Samuel Edward Conkin, full AI read audio, but I'm not listening to all that.
No, that's just an audiobook. That's an audiobook.
Yeah, but, like, first of all, I remember
That's not
when
my.
people
That's
said...
not like mine. It's not mine.
Yeah, okay, but first of all, I remember when people called it text-to-speech and not AI read.
Well, it is an AI
But
audiobook.
that's all it is.
It's but it's like the voice is actually good. Like you wouldn't. It's not bad. I think it's good. It's like a British guy.
British guy.
Yeah,
I
with
hate
like
British people.
I like the way they talk.
Bottle of water, mate.
Bottle of water. No, I mean like the Queen's English. You know what I mean?
The Queen's English.
Yeah.
You know, like English, like American English sounds closer to like English in England during like the first, like the race to the New World than British English does now.
Really?
Yeah.
Probably because
It's pretty much like a linguistic fact, like commonly accepted linguistic truth. Yeah.
well, probably what happened was the people who moved here just kept their accent, and then they kind of passed it down to their kids, and then it just stayed. Whereas like British English sort of changed over the years. So I feel
mean,
like that would make sense, right? I don't know.
Yeah. It's like I don't know what it's like actually. I don't know.
So I guess I speak I speak old English.
I mean I guess you do. I mean it sound I'm pretty sure standard like London English in like the 1700s sounded closer to like the friggin' Irish accent. It's funny how these things change.
You know why I thought of that? Because I was reading a book by Thomas Sowell, and he was talking about how German immigrants in the United States spoke in the way that German people did back in when they moved here. So their dialect was not. So when they talked to Germans at that time, they talk kind of differently. Because they talk in the way that Germans used to talk, but the way that Germans talk now
I
is
wonder
a little
what
more
this
different.
guy's position is.
Anti-cannabis. What's up, man?
Hello,
How you doing?
are you streaming?
Someone who's
yes, I am.
anti-cannabis, you sound a lot like you're on it right now.
Yeah, you just say you're like, sound like you just took a hit.
Why are you... Don't stream, please.
You
You joined the
You
room.
can
My
leave
room
it.
says the room says live.
Okay, whatever.
yeah, you're allowed to stream as long as like you were on the call and you put it in the title.
Yeah, they told me it was cool as long as I put it in the title. So do you guys want to talk about what do you want to like debate about something or?
I mean,
I have an opinion.
what's
Okay.
your opinion on cannabis?
I'm against cannabis.
Like, do you think we should like make it illegal? Like,
Nope.
if you have cannabis, you're arrested.
Nope, I'm not saying it should be legal. I'm saying that I'm
So
against
then-
the opinion.
You're
I'm
against like
against the opinion that it's something that is useful.
well. I mean,
I think
that's
it's just a
fine for
plant.
you,
No,
but-
because people say, "Oh, it's just a plant." Okay, so then it's just a plant. So leave it as just a plant. Why are you making some kind of a crazy
Well,
psychoactive narrative
everything
around
is just something. Like the computer that you're talking to me on is like
That's
just
what I'm talking
metal
about.
and some wires. Like
It's just silicone,
Sure.
yeah.
it's just
So I'm wondering why
silicone and
why
some
is there
rare earth
so
metals.
much so much narrative around this thing, around this kind of thing, concept called psychoactivity, which doesn't exist, by the way.
Cause like when you puff the leaf, it makes you feel good. I don't know what to say.
Okay, so
Yeah,
that's your
people
opinion, right?
people like to get high.
Well, like some people say that it does, and I guess if they say that it does, like it makes them feel good. it
Wait,
makes
what
them
if
make you feel
some
good.
people say they fucking hate it, and they would throw it
I
in the
mean,
trash?
and they hate it. People.
Well, you don't have- they
people
don't
have to
are
take it.
react
Oh,
to
so
drugs
it's an
differently.
opinion?
Well, yeah,
Yeah,
it's an opinion.
Oh, it's an opinion. A lot of people, they say, no, it's just your genetics. You're genetically disposed to like it. That's bullshit. There are
Well-
times in
Well, we
history
know. I don't think
where
he said. I
culture-
don't think
My
Jr.
argument
said
is
that.
It's culturally Huh?
I don't think Jr. said that.
No, I
No, so you do believe that. Because you truly believe that cannabis is objectively fun. That's your conviction, because you're a moron.
Well, I don't
What-
think we're
what are
saying
you
it's
talking
objectively fun. I think what he was trying to say is that some people who smoke it find it to be fun, and that's the reason why they do it.
Okay, so if I were
yeah.
to
Why else would they?
If I were to give someone a bag of shit, well, actually in India, they love bags of cow shit,
Mm-hmm.
and they get a rush. It's a reaction.
Poop throwing festival.
It's a detectable rush in the brain scan. Is there anything about the poop that's objectively doing that? No, it's a script. It's a narrative. Same with cannabis.
Well, no,
How come
it's not a
animals
narrative.
avoid it?
Some people are just like into that shit, right? And
I don't.
think some
Why
people
though?
just
Why?
have it.
Why is it? Why?
Some of it is why? I mean, like, why do people have like foot fetishes? I don't know. Like, maybe some of it's genetics. Maybe some of it's like social. I don't know.
Why don't? So is
Sometimes
it
the
or
the
not?
brain is an odd thing. Sometimes you don't always know how it works.
Oh, so in other words, it's a game of, do we look at it positivistically, or I'm sorry, no. Is it deterministic? No, the answer is it's culturally scripted.
I don't want to
Right,
interject here, but
right.
like, is this
You
relevant to the
realize-
prompt? Like, if cannabis is objectively, whether it's objectively or subjectively good, and it's just like one of those things in the mind, that doesn't
It's
make it
trash.
Like, should be legal. Like,
No,
for
of
example,
course
like,
it should be. Of
some
course
people
it should
just
be legal.
naturally want to like kill other people or something.
What
like,
is?
that
I don't
wouldn't be
care
right.
about the legality. Legality is cringe.
I think
Well,
what he's
then why
trying to
is it
say that he
ethical?
thinks that it's bad, like in general. I think
You
that's
think
what
it's
he's trying to
objectively
say.
bad? I mean, if it's objectively bad, then it is
No,
what
I
it is.
didn't say.
Yeah. So what?
No,
so what if
so
it's
what do you
objectively
What do you actually
bad?
believe about cannabis?
I mean,
No, I'm not
cannabis
saying
could
that
be
it's
bad.
objectively bad.
So what? You know, people should be allowed to make that
I'm
choice.
saying it's my opinion that it's. That's my opinion.
Yeah, so like,
I mean, I would argue
guess
it
we
should
can
be
agree
illegal,
disagree.
but
And my
I think
opinion
some
is
people
that
make
it's
it like
The
useless.
topic is that it's whether it's legal or
I mean,
whether
it
it should
clearly
be
has
legal or
huge-
not.
Yeah,
I don't
so
care
like,
if it's legal shit.
but that's kind of what we're
Well,
talking
then why
about.
are you here?
Is suicide illegal?
It actually depends on the territory.
Why is it?
Depends
I don't
on the
care.
situation,
I
I
don't care
guess,
if it's
right?
legal or not. It's a. I'm not interested in the normative parts. I'm interested in the positive part.
Title
Scientific.
should
Wait,
legalize all
bro.
drugs, right?
How are
I
you
don't care if
still
it's legal or
committed to this
illegal.
bit, bro?
I
You have
think it
been
should be
trolling
legal.
for
All
like
right.
fucking months on this shit, bro.
Is this like a troll?
Yeah, he
Maybe,
literally
yeah.
trolls fucking every single day, bro. He's
Who the fuck are
amazing
you?
at rate baiting.
He's like the
Just
highest
say the
guy,
same-
but his name is anti-cannabis.
You're lying.
He sounds high. I'm not gonna lie.
He's fucking.
So anyone could
Yo,
just
bro,
come in
if
and
this
say,
is a
"I know this
troll-
person for months, and he's doing this and that," and you
I
start
mean, if he's
believing him.
trolling, I fell for it. I'm not gonna lie.
I mean, I've seen you in other
Nah,
rooms.
I
He
mean,
is very fun to talk to, though. I'm not gonna lie.
Yeah, I'm not gonna lie. It is kind of interesting to hear his arguments. It's kind of funny.
bro, but he trolls the fuck out of you, bro. I believed it for the first time I talked to him, and I was like, he's gotta be trolling.
This
Yeah.
guy's
You're either trolling or the most retarded person on the planet. I don't know which one. it
You're
is.
the most retarded
Bait,
person on the planet.
Wait, do you know if he's trolling though?
I hope he's trolling for the sake of
You don't
him.
know shit about me. The fuck?
How do I know we're not on his like YouTube channel where and then was like bunch of guys getting trolled on the on Discord, guy
Wait a minute,
idiots.
he's not allowed to record in here. Tell him off, KingSithis. You're the.
Yeah. No, I don't care if he records. But that's because I'm consistent.
I don't care if it's illegal or legal. I think it should be
But
legal.
that's what we're talking about.
It shouldn't
That's-
even be concerned about.
That's what we're talking about, though.
All right. Well, the room
It's
is
like-
about the legality,
Yeah.
right?
Okay, that's a really unfortunate discussion to have. You know why?
Mm-hmm.
Because it is not profound. It really isn't. You know why? Let me just tell you.
Is it instead
Well-
profound to say?
well,
here
how
and
about
say,
this? How
"Oh,
about this
weed bad
anti-cannabis?
for you"?
What about this anti-cannabis?
What?
Can I ask you
Because-
something? What do you
What?
think about prostitution? Do you think prostitution should be legal?
Yeah, I don't
Gonna roll
believe in
one.
victimless crimes.
Huh?
I don't believe in victimless crimes.
But what do you think about prostitution?
It's just an oxymoron.
Like in general?
What happened?
Would you engage in prostitution? Like, would you have sex with a woman for money, or?
I don't even know the answer to that. First of all, I don't know the answer to that. I don't think so. Probably
Like, if a
not.
woman came up to you and was like, "Hey, like, $50,
That
let's
would
do it.
require him talking to a woman.
Let's
bro.
do
I mean,
it."
That's just not gonna happen.
Nah, I mean, you could just. I mean, if you pay a woman good enough,
Doesn't have to put any effort in.
yeah, if you have enough
I
money.
just say it was ultimately it's trying to understand the nature of a victimless crime. There isn't one. It just doesn't exist.
Got you.
What? Wait. What do you mean?
Yeah.
There are many. The state can make anything illegal if.
Fuck the state. I don't care about the state. We're looking at this as a
Why
philosopher.
are you? Well,
Based.
Like, but and what's a crime? What's a crime then?
Exactly.
Oh, is it crime?
Durkheim tried to address that. Emil Durkheim
Victimless
tried to
crimes
understand what is a
should
crime.
not exist.
He said crimes are actually self-serving. They actually are necessary for the society because how can you have he says some bullshit, but this victimless crime is just stupid.
Wait, what crime is necessary for society to like survive? Is that what you said?
Well, Durkheim just said that. I think if I read my theory class, because I would skip
Who?
class on that. Basically, he said that crime
If you pitched-
gives
if you pitched
humility
this
to the
guy's voice up,
society.
Like a little, like one octave, he would sound exactly like Jordan Peterson.
No, Durkheim, Emil Durkheim, he was a sociologist who tried to understand crime as a concept. Crime isn't a thing that you find in science.
Mm-hmm.
So he He tried to investigate it scientifically. Said, well, what is this? Okay, and he did that.
What did he say?
Well, I didn't pay attention to class, but he said.
No, you're
basically,
just. You don't even know what he
No, he
said. Why are
said
you
it's
bringing him up, bro?
No, he said it's necessary because
you
it
bring
teaches
him-
society humility. Kind of
Yeah,
like
but you kinda
have
brought
to
him
know-
What does
up.
that mean?
You know its limits. Like it tests its limits. It's like you can only go as
The
far
limits
as
of whether you can
enforcing
like rape
whatever
and
you
murder and
want.
steal.
This
Like,
dude is a stoner.
I
Maybe.
feel like you
That
smoke
could be
weed,
what it
bro.
is.
society doesn't.
Wait, did you
So
smoke weed in
criminology
college?
is a pseudoscience. Just so you know that.
How's it pseudoscience?
All right, can we talk about legalizing drugs and prostitution now?
I don't know. You're the one who brought it. You said that. I'm just curious.
Hell yeah, let's legalize all drugs.
Hell yeah.
I think if it's a victim, why should a drug be legal? I don't understand it. The reason is because
All right,
Why do you
so
Okay.
we need to legalize guns, drugs, and prostitution. Anyone disagree?
I agree.
Well, how
with
do
it.
you prevent anarchy? That would be like the central. That would be like the normal about
That's
like how
kind.
do you?
That's kind of the idea. To
Oh,
get
that's
it.
kind of the
That's-
idea.
That's our idea.
Yeah. But besides that,
What's the worst that can happen?
ideally you would want some. I don't think that legalizing drugs is gonna just like lead to anarchy. I think it'll
Well, you're
we'll be
also
better off.
saying legalize guns, drugs, prostitution. Like, how does anyone exert authority if practically like everything is legal? Because drugs and
Well, murder's not
guns
legal.
specifically,
Not everything's legal.
like weapons is like what power derives from. It comes
Murder's
from,
not-
like, the
murder's
end
not
of a
legal.
bullet.
America already has guns legalized. You wouldn't say like America's an anarchy, would
Yeah,
you?
but the ability to acquire weapons becomes a lot easier. And by
So
such, you'd
the
be able to
United
inflict
States
power on that.
has guns, prostitution, and drugs. It's just not legal, but they have all three.
Yeah.
Like you could buy all
Yeah, but
three
it's
if you
not-
wanted.
I mean,
There
do
are
you
no-
literally think that
there are
all
no
guns should
drugs
be
in
legal?
America.
Yes.
Okay, like where do you draw the line for weapons? Like, do you think weapons of mass destruction should be legal? Like,
Yes.
okay, that's just kind of like I don't think I'd rather live in like a misguided government than like no government because if
Why would you
everyone was
rather
able
have
to
a
get their hands
misguided
on a
government?
weapon of mass destruction legally,
Well, this isn't a
that would
art.
just be-
This isn't a anarchy debate. This is a legalized. Why do you think we should make guns
well,
illegal?
yeah, but that's like anarchy is inevitably what that I'm arguing that what
you
you're
you
leads
can
to
legalize guns without having anarchy. Is that what are you saying? Like it's impossible to legalize guns?
When you also just said legalize like weapons, like legalize guns.
Yeah, guns
legalize,
like
any
guns, like ones that shoot, and drugs.
Okay, but like, what counts as? What about like? Okay, like some guns can be illegal, but what about like other guns? Like, where's the line? Like, what
How do
guns-
you-
I don't
draw
have me
the line?
personally. I don't have a line.
You don't have a line.
So then I would argue that would never lead to anarchy.
like an
So
arbitrary
essentially,
line.
this is just an anarchy debate.
So
What do you mean by-
I mean, if you, I guess you don't have an argument for why we should make guns illegal.
The argument would be that it would inevitably lead if you made all weapons legal, like in your worldview, it would inevitably lead to anarchy. So essentially,
I don't think so.
At its core, this is an anarchy debate.
What
Not
do you mean
necessarily.
what do you mean by when you say anarchy?
There is
Guns
no
are
like,
like
central
legal
authority
in
to exert its power.
America right now.
Yeah, is that a
America
problem?
is not
I mean,
anarchy.
Yeah, what's
we're
wrong with
for
that?
Yeah, I'd rather live in like with misguided order, like an evil order, than like no order, because
You want an evil order?
or like a. For
Also,
example,
we're
like,
not
I'd rather
against
live under,
order.
Like, a regime than a place that was totally anarchist, because there is no central authority. So, as we told,
We're not.
chaos
We don't
and-
believe in. We don't believe. We don't believe in getting rid of. Hold on. Hold on. Can I respond? Can I respond?
Yeah, sure.
I don't disagree with you that we need order. I just don't think we need authoritarian order. I think we need spontaneous order.
Can you define that?
Spontaneous order is basically when you go to a grocery store. Nobody's making anybody go to the grocery store and forcing them to pick which thing to buy and which thing not to buy. It's all spontaneous. You choose for yourself what you want based on your desires, and that could basically, I prefer to have spontaneous order, right? Which is the idea that each individual is their own authority, whereas opposed to having one authoritarian order where you have one person controlling everybody or one group of people controlling everybody based on what they think is best. Because
So if
the issue
each
is
individual. Oh, sorry.
I was almost done anyways. I was just gonna say that like it's most people know what's best for themselves as opposed to one authority.
Yeah, I mean, you would have to believe in like the power or the goodness in the individual. Like, there's evil individuals, but you have to hold the same standard. Are they entitled to the same like rights, I guess, or whatever you'd call it, the same liberty?
Are people in the government also, you have to apply that standard for them as well?
Yeah, like we
but-
agree with that. We just apply that same standard to the people within the state. We don't believe that people within the state ought to have the right to have rights above us. So, for instance, the state has a right to take your money by force and throw you in prison if you do something that they don't or deem to not like. Could I do that to you? What gives them the right? You know, you're putting them above like all other people. You know. And we're against that. We believe that, you know, all people are equal and no person should be held up above any other person. If another person uses their force against another person, you know, they're violating that person's rights, and that person should pay restitution to that person whose rights they violated.
I mean, yeah, I would agree that the state isn't always in the right. Like, I'm not like an institutionalist, but
Not a statist. But
Yeah,
no,
but
like
not every-
the
Because
idea.
not every individual
Oh, go ahead.
is
Sorry.
good either. So we can hold the same standard both ways, but I don't think your like worldview accounts for like evil individuals or individuals who like, what if their choices in their life and they want the liberty to like murder and assassinate people and be out and about doing that or committing crime?
Well, that's not liberty.
Who's to hold them to a standard? You have to put someone above them in order to inflict power to them to like throw them in prison.
Not necessarily. So, for instance, when you get car insurance, right, and you get into an accident, you're quote unquote handing over the authority of what happens in that dispute over to some arbitrator or the company itself to make a decision as to whether you're right or wrong, right?
Yeah.
But the difference between that and the state is that you are making the choice to give them that authority, whereas the state, you don't have a choice. They force you to accept their authority regardless of whether you agree with it or not, or regardless of whether or not they're actually doing the job. So and us libertarians, we believe very strongly in the NAP, the non-aggression principle. So we believe that the functions of the state should be privatized in the sense that insurance companies should take up the role, or private companies should take up the role of rights enforcement and protection.
I mean, to a certain extent, I like would agree, but I think the distinction is that, let's say that the individual who like in a hypothetical, like an individual in your spontaneous, what was it?
Spontaneous order, yes.
Yeah, spontaneous order society, like murdered another individual or attacked one, and some other arbiter of justice, we presume, is going in to settle the situation, but in order for that to happen, the person who committed the act, the assailant, would have to give the authority to the arbiter. But what if they just like don't? They won't have to be held accountable. Like, I know it sounds like a silly hypothetical, but that's
like saying would you get into a car accident and your insurance company that covers you, what if you just don't give them their authority? Well, it's just like, well, you already gave them the authority by signing the paperwork. So whatever decision that they make is going to be the decision.
So, in a way, that puts the insurance company, their judgment above the judgment of the individual. So that is
but you agreed to it. So there's a difference. So I can agree to put on my another person's judgment over my judgment if I'm in a dispute with somebody. That's why we have arbitration, right? So if I have a
So-
dispute,
Sorry, but like
Yeah.
in this case, let's say the person who murdered the other person, the assailant, who would they have previously signed an agreement with prior to that? And
generally their
The
insurance,
spontaneous
the
murder will be-
insurance company or private security agency that is representing them.
but-
So it's if you're in an ANCAP society, generally what you would be incentivized to have some insurance company to insure all of your property, whether it be yourself or the goods and services in which you own, and which they would expect from you is like, well, in order to have our insurance, to keep our insurance or to have lower premiums, you would need to keep yourself safe or maybe have some guns in your house to protect yourself, or don't go into scary neighborhoods and you'll have lower premiums. And as a prerequisite for that protection and our backup assistance in the case of arbitration, they would expect you to not commit acts of aggression or fraud against other people and their clients as to lowering the premiums they would have to pay out. And if they continue to violate people's rights, well, then they could just refuse service to them. And if they get into a dispute and they have no insurance, well, then they're basically shut out of luck, which incentivizes them to more.
If a woman wears a slutty outfit, does her rape insurance premium go up?
No, I don't
I
think
don't
so.
know.
I don't think so.
No idea.
I don't think so.
I
No.
assume that like
Well, no, that's not.
Maybe
what
if
if it did
maybe
happen?
maybe
Like,
if you're in
maybe.
a, I don't think so. I don't know. I don't think so.
Yeah.
I can't give you a solid answer. That's why I'm saying I don't think so. I don't think that would matter.
No, I feel like that would
You
be.
can't predict how the market will exactly turn out.
Yeah, that's
Well,
why
you
I
don't
can't
have
give
to
you a
guess.
solid
Like-
answer.
What if I like don't want the market to turn out that way? Like what if?
Then irrelevant.
It's irrelevant.
Like I don't.
What do
Okay,
you
so
mean
you
irrelevant?
don't want it.
You could
Other-
say
if other
I could say
people-
I
if
don't
that's
want
how
the market to
turns
turn.
out-
I could say I don't want the market to turn out that people really like fidget spinners and buy fidget spinners, but I mean, there's not much you could do about it. People like them.
A fidget spinner is
Are
bad.
you gonna use force against them? Like I don't.
What are you
know,
gonna do?
Fidget spinner is
You-
bad.
but The answer is
No.
Is rape?
You want to
So-
go? You want to? Do you want to go kill people over this? Like I don't understand.
Yeah. Do you want to kill
Kill
people
people,
over
yeah.
fidget spinners?
You
No,
have
I
to
don't wanna
Hey,
go
homie,
go in and stop
I
them
can
from
share
doing
your
it.
screen in a
like,
kick
the
community
murder,
to help you
let's
hit
assume that it was
1,000.
premeditated, and the person premeditated this, so they probably wouldn't have signed an agreement with like a insurance company or a private company, whatnot. That
Well,
would
then they're
act
they're
as the
screwed.
arbiter in the situation.
Because if they kill somebody in that's covered under an insurance company, then they're pretty much screwed. Because then that insurance company is going to send their private security force to make them pay restitution.
But then wouldn't you have a number of private security forces like?
Multiple competing
Essentially-
private security agencies, yeah. And that would be better than having one monopolistic force. Because when you have a
What's to stop
monopoly,
them from sorry, but like it would essentially be warlords because they would be fighting for probably regionality. What would stop them from asserting their own power, right?
well, it's
Like-
profit fun because these companies are owners. The people who own these companies are owners of these companies. These guys are not what you call politicians who don't really reap the benefits or reap the losses of the goods and services in which they provide. Thus, basically incentivizing them to do things to cooperate in a way that would lead to the least amount of payouts or damage being done to other people in which they would have to pay to other people. And it would also work similar to how, like, I could ask you the same question. It's like, okay, what's stopping all the countries in Europe from, going to war with each other at a moment's notice? Well, the large reason is because keeping peace with each other, generally, more often than not, is more better for society and productivity than
except countries
otherwise.
go to war with each other, and I have no reason to suspect that companies wouldn't also go to war with each other.
Yeah, but when you
governments
talk
can
about-
externalize the cost of war.
Yeah, the
on the
difference between a
taxpayers.
private company.
Externalize the cost of war.
Yeah, so for
Yeah,
instance,
you just push
could
it onto the taxpayers. You don't actually have to pay. Just steal from them more and fund your war and inflate the money too.
private companies can't
Private companies cannot do that though.
Yeah. Also, so the difference between a private company is that you could choose not to buy their services, whereas with a state they can't. So they can externalize the cost of war onto you. Whereas if a private company decides to go to war, they have to increase their premiums in order to pay for that war, thus potentially lowering their customer base. That would make them more incentivized to not go to war than than a state would. Not saying that it's impossible for a private company to go to war with another company, but they would be much more incentivized not to go to war than a state would, because they can't again externalize the costs. Why is this not working?
Elaborate on what externalize the cost means.
Oh, taxation. That would mean essentially that they don't have to pay the cost of their own war. They could force other people to pay for them.
Yeah, like they won't lose tax money.
That's externalizing the cost.
Tax people.
Well, if they're going to war, then they're already like violating the NAP. So like, what's stopping them from violating the NAP in other ways if they're already like in a war?
Well, because going to war is very costly, and then forcing the people who are under your services would be also very costly.
War can be very costly. It depends on the type of warfare. I think war can also be very profitable, especially to the winner.
Well, when you're talking about a state, yes,
a monopoly on violence of a.
Yeah, when you have a monopoly on violence, yes.
Why would a company not also do that if they're also?
Because they're not a monopoly on violence. See, when you're talking about when you have competition in the market, when you have competition in the market,
become one.
Not if there's competition.
To become one.
Okay,
not if there's.
Yeah, well, I want to get rid of my competition because they.
Okay, so what's stopping a country from wanting to be monopoly on the world?
Mostly nuclear weapons.
Okay, what's stopping other private companies from owning nuclear weapons to prevent another company from trying to become a monopoly on force?
Well, I think companies would probably be more irresponsible with nuclear weapons.
That's not. That's not an answer to my question. They could leverage leverage nuclear weapons or the same means in which states use now in order to stop some sort of country from becoming a.
If there was like a small
monopoly on force on the world,
small
right?
Region with a high population density, and there was two private companies.
Okay, so I guess we're just gonna 180 dodge my question. Wait, go ahead.
I mean, if there was two private companies in like a small market in like a region, wouldn't it be profitable and beneficial for one of those companies to go to war with another one, defeat them, and then take over and have the entire market essentially?
Yeah, like I said, it's not impossible. It's not impossible for a private company to become a monopoly on force.
Well, no,
hold on, can I answer the question?
Is it incentivized?
Can I not answer the question? Can I? Yeah, I'm gonna answer the question.
It's profitable.
JR, I'm gonna answer the question.
How do you know it's profitable?
All right, I guess you don't want to hear the answer.
If you have a monopoly on force, then of course it's profitable. Of course it's profitable to have a monopoly on force.
Of course it is. Of course it is. No way. I'm just gonna ignore the argument because of course it is.
Yes, and companies.
Of course it is.
By profit.
Yeah, of course it is. We're just gonna ignore the evidence because of course it is.
What evidence is there that like?
Do you want to hear? Do you want to hear the evidence, or do you want to just keep hearing yourself talking? Okay. So when you're a private company, right? You are less incentivized to go to war with another company because again, you cannot externalize your costs onto other people by forcing people to pay for your goods and services against their will. That's the difference between a private company and a private business. So as soon as you start raising the costs of your goods and services, the people whom are paying for your goods and services will move on to another company that does not raise the cost of their goods and services in order to pay for a reckless business that is trying to go to war. Now, I'm not saying that it's impossible for a private business to go to a war, but when you don't have the means to externalize your costs, you're of course going to be less likely to go to war with another company because you have not only, again, you have the profit incentive that incentivizes you to get more profit than losses. Going to war is more costly than being peaceful with other people more often than not. And plus, if you go to war, you are in there and able to externalize the cost the same way that the state is able to, thus making him less likely to go to war than a private state is. I mean, than a state is, not private state. I said private state. That's stupid. I shouldn't have said that.
Well, that's another argument. All right.
But it's not private. Shit.
But you know what I was trying to say.
Like contradictory.
But, like, couldn't the war be seen as like a means of? It would be a loss in the short term, but in the long term, couldn't it be seen as a way to gain profit? If we use the hypothetical I brought up earlier, where like it was two private companies in a small region, but with a large population, and the other company went to war with the country, it would be costly in the short term, but in the long term, what they would practically do is double their profit. So
yeah, but the
I don't
upfront
know how
cost
you're
of
determining that.
Wait, hold on.
like
Jerkman, I think he was gonna say something, and then Cam go next.
yeah, so like the upfront cost of like buying tanks, manpower, soldiers is probably not going to be in a firm's budget. Like we can just think of them as like big ass all-state companies, right? Allstate doesn't have enough capital like to fund a war, especially like to the extent like it'd be $700 billion like annually. As well as war is not typically like highly incentivized as like customers if you're companies going to war.
The only reason countries need to spend yay much on wars is because the country they're fighting against also has that amount of funds. If companies are less, companies can't externalize their cost and therefore would want to spend less on war.
Yeah, but if you want to win the war, you're going to spend more than the other person. Like,
if you can't externalize, if you can't externalize the cost, you're not going to want to go to war in the first place.
In competitive markets, there's not really much profit to be made. Like, for instance, like the margins on like most like highly competitive markets are not very high, so they're gonna have to.
And I
be
want to increase that margin by getting rid of my competition by killing.
No, but like in order to do that, you're gonna have to basically go into massive debt, and I don't really think any bank's gonna loan to a warlord. It's just kind of bad for bank business.
I don't need a.
Now, again, can I respond? Can I respond real quick? So fundamentally, I'm not saying that it's impossible for a private company to gain the money and then violate people's rights. All I'm saying is that when you have a private firms that are providing the service of insurance over your private goods and services, they're going to be much less likely, and I mean way more less likely to go to war with each other because of those incentives created by a free market. Now, obviously, like if you're talking about a situation, now I'm going to address the argument that the other guy made, which is, let's say you're in a small area and there's only like 2 firms or something like that. Now, if you're in a small area, and there's not as many people, it'll be a little bit more easier to take over the market than say a larger area. But as soon as they take over that larger area, they will have to contend with the people that live in the larger areas, in which there's a lot of competition. So it may, and a lot of businesses aren't going to want to harm people just in the short term, so that they could get screwed over in the long term by larger businesses that do want to protect their companies. So again, I'm not saying that it's impossible. But again, when you compare it to the alternative, which is a state that forcibly extracts wealth and externalizes its cost onto innocent people, then there's a reason why states make profit off of going war, because they don't have to pay the cost of war.
If your only reason why social order would be maintained is because if your only argument is that social order would be maintained because it's profitable to keep social order, what about the order that slavery is wrong? Slavery is very profitable, and all of the Ancaps.
It's only profitable to the slave owner.
Have had slaves, so like I don't know, like
it's only profitable to the slave owner.
How is slavery
how is slavery profitable?
Because you don't have to pay people.
Wait, you do realize that? Then why are the countries that have the least slavery the most wealthy?
Give me an example.
Okay, so the United States is a lot more wealthier than Uganda and the Middle East, and the UK, I would say, is a lot more wealthier than countries that have slavery today.
A lot of the like raw materials and the manufacturing that the wealth of those countries
that's an obfuscation. Would you disagree that the countries that
It's not an. How is that an obfuscation?
it is an obfuscation.
Wait,
Would you
this
disagree?
is also, like,
Listen to me. Would you
not even
disagree
a-
that the
this is a
countries that
non-argument.
have the least amount of slavery are a lot more richer than the countries that do have slavery?
So this is a
The
non-argument.
countries
Like,
that don't have slavery because. Wait, hold on. You. What was who's? Who,
sorry, like
It's not an-
slavery
hold
is
on.
obviously against anything like in an ANCAP society.
Yeah.
Like, you really like legally you couldn't have slavery.
Yes.
Why?
Unless you ran through like super coercive.
Because you're
What do
the
you mean,
owner.
why?
What do you mean? Why? You're the owner of your body.
Do you know what ANCAP is about? Jesus, man.
Who decides that I'm the owner of my body? I don't care.
I'm not even an
You
ANCAP,
can make
bro.
the money.
Nobody
Right.
needs to decide that. It's just
You're-
true.
Yeah, just
Just
as
like
a
asking
fact.
who decides that A is A. It's just
Are you a
true.
moral realist?
You agree with me that you own your
I
body.
don't know. I've been thinking about this.
Do you
Recently.
you agree with me
It's
that
not
you
even
own your
moral,
body?
honest.
Well, I don't. Well,
Yes, you
no,
do.
I don't agree with it. What do you mean? I agree with it prescriptively. I don't agree with it descriptively. Because
You
I
do
don't believe
agree.
in
You
descriptive
agree with
moral
it
claims.
prescriptively, right?
Well, sure, but I don't understand how it.
Well, obviously,
understand
rights
how
don't
society
exist
can
physically.
literally
Obviously,
exist.
rights don't exist physically,
Yeah.
but they exist
I mean-
conceptually, right?
What do you mean conceptually? I mean, they exist legally and they
They,
exist in.
I said
some
conceptually. Do you
philosophies.
know what a concept is?
Well, fine. They exist conceptually.
Okay,
What does
so that
mean?
means that just saying that, oh well, I don't care about your rights doesn't really mean anything, because if we have people who
Well,
agree,
it does if I don't. If I have a gun and you don't.
okay, just
yeah, then
because,
you'd just be wrong.
yeah, then you just
You wouldn't
violating
be
my
able to
rights.
justify your claim that you can like rob me or kill me or whatever.
Mhm.
How would you justify such an aggressive claim?
Because I have a gun and I'll kill you if you don't.
That's
do
not
so.
no. You have to justify.
That's a
it through
descriptive
argument.
claim. We're
How do
talking
you go
about
doing that?
prescriptive claims.
I don't care. You're dead.
Okay,
That's
saying.
irrelevant.
Okay,
Then
so
you're just
if
incoherent.
yeah, you're just
Just an
incoherent.
How is that? Well, I don't care. You're dead. I don't care if I'm.
You're just an
incoherent, you're dead.
animal. So like you don't have. You're just an animal killing people. Like I don't. What do you want me to say? Okay. Like you can't justify it through an
Yeah,
argument.
you're
There's no logical basis for what you.
I
So
don't
you
care
don't
if you-
believe
I
in
don't
wait,
care if you-
JR? So you
I
don't
care
believe
if
in
you-
It's
rights?
irrelevant. It's irrelevant.
Wait,
What you're-
guys,
what you're trying to say is irrelevant.
Cam. Question.
He's
do
being
you?
a retard.
I know. JR, do you believe in rights?
Descriptively or prescriptively? When I say I believe in rights, I
I
mean
said, do you believe they
prescriptively-
exist conceptually?
Rights
Yes
are
or no?
prescriptive.
What do you mean, right? Well, yes, rights are prescriptive. In the
Do you
sense that I
believe?
that
Yeah,
people-
rights are prescriptive. Yes, obviously. Do you
Yes.
believe in rights prescriptively? Yes, right.
Yes.
This is an au-
And now, just
Right
because
is
I
an
say, just because you have the ability to do something to me, does not really matter, because like for instance, if you were to come up to me and say, "Hey, Sithis, I think it's wrong to rape," and I came up to you and I said, "Well, I could just go up to you and rape you," is that going to change your mind as to whether or not you think it's okay or not okay to rape?
Oh, I'm not saying it'll change your mind, but I'm saying, how would you run you can't run a society on that basis.
Yes, you
have
can.
to
We do it
ensure
all the
that- You
time.
have to ensure that society is make
And-
sure that rape punishes rape.
Yeah. So enforce
Yeah.
you have to enforce
We
your
have
rights.
so you're
right?
saying that we're
Yes,
going to
you have
need
to
a
enforce
way
your
to
rights.
enforce
Yes,
those
you would
rights,
have
right?
rights.
And we would
I
have that.
disagree with you, and because I have a gun and I can enforce my rights.
Wait,
harder.
saying okay,
Okay, I'm
so
gonna kill you then if
saying
you try to
okay
kill me.
again. So we'll go this back to this again, because it seems like you just have a hard time understanding. JR, do you believe in rights conceptually?
Prescriptively, yes.
Okay,
But you believe
so
in-
saying that I have a gun
Like,
and I'm going.
just
Wait,
like
wait,
that
stop,
case.
JR, stop. Saying that I have a gun and I could shoot you, so therefore you don't have rights. Does that make any difference as to whether or not you believe
I
that it's
believe
wrong
that
to
I
rape?
should have rights, but if like I
I
believe that
listen.
should
Did
have
I
rights.
stop? Okay, you're obfuscating for a reason, because you're too scared to understand that you don't actually believe what you're saying. So
No,
are you gonna stop
I-
obfuscating or actually answer the question?
How am I obfuscating?
Okay, so then so here's the question: if I came up, do you believe that rape is wrong?
Yes.
Okay, so if I came up to you and said, "Hey, bud, it doesn't matter. I have a gun," is that going to change your mind or make any difference as to whether or
It's
not
gonna
you think?
change my mind, it's gonna change, but you will be able.
No,
to
no,
rape
stop
me.
it. I
Like,
didn't. Did I ask
but
you?
does that
If
change
did I
the
ask
fact
you
of the
that?
matter?
Did I ask you that?
What do you mean? What do you mean the fact of the matter?
Yeah.
Can you
do-
justify the claim that it's okay to rape? That's what you
Yeah.
have to do. To
Yeah.
prove
So,
it.
no,
Well,
that's not what
I'm
I'm
not a
asking. That's not what I'm
moral-
asking
I'm
him.
not
That's not what I'm
moral
asking.
realist.
Hold on.
Not
Stop.
even
Stop. Stop.
talking about-
Guys.
just
Guys.
talking about
No, you guys are
justifying
going the
the
wrong
claim.
way. You guys
I'm
are
literally
going.
just talking about justifying
Guys,
the claim.
everybody that isn't me, stop talking 1 second. Stop. 1 second.
I can prove why rape is okay.
I didn't ask you.
Okay.
So Jr., you saying you're claiming that rape is wrong, right?
Yes. Okay.
Okay. So if I came up to you and I said, yeah, but I have a gun and I could force you to rape me, I could force myself to rape you anyway. So who cares? Would that change your mind?
No, it wouldn't change my mind about whether or the
Okay, so then you do believe in rights. So saying, "Oh my God, well, you don't have a gun to stop somebody from saying that you're my slave," is that going to change the fact that we still believe in the NAP?
Well, yes, but how would you make sure that the NAP continues to exist?
Okay, so then.
Reality?
Yeah, so so since you weren't listening the last hour and a half, I'll catch you up to the conversation. So earlier in the conversation, we were talking about rights enforcement agencies and insurance companies that would take up the role of protection in a anarcho-capitalist society. I know you forgot very easily, but we were having.
I understand that. I understand that. It's
not
just like
there would be enforcement. There would be enforcement. So saying, "Oh, anyone could just go up to you and rape you," well, obviously that wouldn't apply in ANCAP because no one could just go up to you and rape you. There would be a way to enforce people to stop them from raping you. There would be a person you could call to stop them from raping you.
What if I think I have the right for people to?
Dude,
it doesn't matter.
God,
Let's say if I'm living in your let's say I'm living. Stop talking.
Moral fag.
Hold on. Let's say I'm living in Australia where you live, and I think it's okay for me to rape you, and I come up to you and rape you. Now what? What are you gonna do?
It's such a moral
so you're gonna call
to be like, oh my God,
I'm gonna mute this guy.
Rape is always wrong.
I'm gonna mute this guy. Hold on 1 second, guys. Let's hold the conversation until I kick this guy. Oh, it didn't work.
That's bad. That's bad.
That's bad, and we should do it consensually in the future. Going forward.
Alright, so... Jesus Christ. So you would call the police, right? So you would call the police, right?
Yeah, I would call the police, cause...
So, wait, but if the police don't show up, now what?
Then I guess I'm getting raped.
Okay, so you don't have. I guess you don't. So I guess you don't have an enforcement mechanism in your system. No, I guess you don't have a
How do you know he's wrong?
So yeah, I guess you don't have an enforcement mechanism in your system.
Right.
JR,
how do you know he's wrong to rape you?
Because I'm not a moral realist. I can't like.
I never claimed to be a moral realist.
Well,
wait. Let me hear his answer to my question first. Like, let him answer my. So,
what's your question?
My thing was like, it seems like, if you are unable to, if the police doesn't show up, it seems to me the criticism that you're holding against my system, that you don't have an enforcement mechanism to protect you from rape, also applies to your system.
Well, first of all, the police usually do show up.
Yeah, but what if they don't?
What if they don't? Then I mean, fuck. I guess I'm getting raped.
So it seems like you don't have an. So it seems like I know. So it seems like you don't have an enforcement mechanism in order to stop people from raping. If somebody says, "Hey, I'm just gonna rape you," well, I guess you don't have any way to enforce it, right? Because
Yes.
You do? How?
Correct. No, I don't have a way to enforce it. That's true. I mean, I could fight back, but like.
Okay, so then it seems like the criticism you levied at my system also applies to the system in which you believe in too.
Well, how does that work? Yes, sometimes the system isn't perfect. Sometimes the cops don't show up. I'm sure your rights enforcement guys might also not show up sometimes.
So because my system isn't perfect, that means that it's bad?
Well, I think some systems are worse than others because they have more imperfections, and I think your system does. But like that's besides.
Yeah, but you're arguing that we had no enforcement mechanism, but clearly we do, right?
Okay, so now we're getting into the meat of this, which is like the merits of decentralized rights enforcement, right? So what if I think that I have the right to like get money from other people, and I like hire
wouldn't
a
work.
licensed enforcement agency.
Not if
Or
you
they'll
live in
probably
an
rule
if you
against
live
you.
if okay, so if we're talking about it in a hypothetical ANCAP society,
Yeah.
it wouldn't work.
Why wouldn't it work?
Because there would be rights enforcement agencies who insure people's property, and if you take it, they would come after you to pay them back for the restitution that they pay to the person whom they had to pay. You know, kind of like if you crash into a person's car, right? The insurance company is going to come after you to try to pay back for the damage that you caused.
Well, yeah, but I don't agree with them.
It doesn't matter.
If a court, okay, that's.
That's like saying
what would happen
that's like me saying like, oh, I shot somebody, and then you'll be like, yeah, but the government's gonna come after you. Well, what if I say I don't care? Well, too bad. You're gonna go to jail. They're gonna.
If there's a ruling in a court and they decide like you're guilty based on the evidence, regardless of if you show up of whether you agree, they can still come after you.
Yeah, they're gonna come after you.
Yeah, but my court says that I'm always right. And I'm gonna fight you now.
Okay, well, fuck
but
your
that's
court.
not how that's gonna work under ANCAP.
And this is how we start a war. This is
that's not how that's. You're
If you
assuming
want to
that.
start a war, that's on you.
But that's an assumption because if you live under ANCAP, hold on, excuse me, you don't, excuse me, JR, hold on.
Why doesn't everyone just
So
start a war
basically,
right now? It's so cool.
Yeah, so the state stopped
in
them.
our
What
system,
states?
we have
What
an
stops?
enforcement mechanism too. Other companies
Yeah,
can stop you. Other people can stop you.
Exactly.
That's
We
our
would
point.
have a
You're acting
competing.
like there would be no enforcement mechanism, which KingSithis already went over that.
Yeah, there would be enforcement.
Yeah, but like,
You act like there's going to be only one private enforcement agency, and that all the other ones are just going to sit back and do nothing while one of them takes over and violates the other people's rights, as if those people can't switch over to that other one.
Let's have a more potentially realistic example. All right. Let's say I have like some child slaves in my basement. All right. And then someone finds out. All right. And they're like, you have slaves in your basement. And I'll be like, I'm taking you to court for having slaves in my basement. And I'm like, I don't agree with your court. I think that I think
it doesn't matter.
Slaves is good. Well. Why not? Is it because my court doesn't isn't
No, if you go
society?
to, they have evidence that you violated those children's rights, it doesn't matter if you care or don't care. They would have the right to come after you because you violated those children's rights.
What if the court decided that? What if the court ruled that I was guilty because I had heroin?
Then nobody would want to go to that court because if they decided to.
I think a lot of people.
I mean, that could happen. It wouldn't be.
It could happen, but it wouldn't work because if you are a court, you're the reason why people are hiring you is to be an unbiased arbitrator in a dispute. And if you're being biased, well then nobody's gonna.
Why would?
No one's gonna want to buy your goods.
Of course, people are gonna want to hire courts that say that they're always right.
If they do that, then they're the customers other than that one person is going to not want to go there. This is a two-way. You gotta realize it's a two-way street. If two people don't, if you take somebody to court and they don't, and they go to their other court that shows that they're not guilty, then
you're actually not.
Yeah, then you're screwed.
What if I founded a court and the premise of my court was that it defended people's right to keep slaves? All right. Now, some people might disagree, but I'm sure that they could convince many people that if they could
not in an ANCAP society.
Money if they could keep slaves. Why?
Not because most people in an ANCAP society wouldn't support that. They would support the NAP.
Well,
and two, all the other companies that represent all the people whose rights you're violating would then gather together to stomp you out. They could just hire contract and other private rights enforcement agencies to help them out, and then pay them afterwards.
But
or they could just have backup agreements with each other in case one goes bad.
Okay, but
they could all group together to stomp you
I
out.
make more money if I get to have slaves because I don't have to pay people wages.
That's not true because slavery is more costly than it.
So why would I not give more money to the court to make sure that happens? I think that would pay off in the long run.
It would not pay off in the long run because people would find out, and then your rights would be violated.
I don't think slaves are very productive workers.
You're cutting out really hard.
I'm not cutting out as far as I can tell. Am I?
I don't know if it's me or you, but I literally you're.
Am I cutting out, Cam?
You're cutting out crazy.
Can you guys?
Yeah, but whoever's saying slavery is not fucking good for margins, kind of retarded. But there's one small argument you can make is that slaves don't have like consumption multipliers. But other than that, that was a really retarded claim. Now you guys can go back.
What?
What?
Wait, what do you mean by consumption multipliers?
So like slaves don't have any income, so they don't like boost demand. So like they don't keep products moving. Like they lower output basically.
Like Henry Ford shit.
In a similar way, yes, but yeah, like they're not like, but like they also are free. So like I don't know why anyone would say they're like bad for like production, even if they're inefficient. Like they're still zero cost for the most part, other than like
Yeah, but then
housing
presumably you're going to
and,
be having less output, no?
Not if there are other people. Not if there are other people who are going to shoot you if you do that.
What matters? It's marginal output. So like, if my marginal cost is what would be low as fuck, it doesn't really matter if my output's bad. So like, it's not like the same way. Like it's just basic micro theory. If my average cost of production is really low, my marginal cost is also really low. Meaning I just might produce lower output, which might be bad for the economy as a whole. But like for me as an individual, it's fucking great.
Yeah, so slavery is good. Slavery is good for the slave owner, but it's not good for the people who's being enslaved.
But I could like get all of the slave owners, and they would be really rich because they have slaves.
Well, yeah, but
again,
the whole pretense that you were saying about slavery is saying that like the entire society would not protect the slaves' rights either, which I think was pretty far-fetched. I mean, but like it's about as far-fetched as saying the U.S. government would now just like allow slaves to go through like lobbying costs and shit like that. Like,
yeah, that's like saying
theoretically, we have done it through states in the past. Like it's not like you're like this is my problem with Ancap law. Like Ancap is fucking stupid, but not because of law. The law is actually pretty ironclad.
No, I would say this. Like fundamentally, that's like saying like, oh, if we had if Microsoft lobbies the government enough, they can get slavery to become legal again. Well, it's just like, well, no, because if people propose to make slavery again, nobody would want to vote for those people, and then they'd lose. Then they'd lose in the races, and it would work the same way, but with money for private companies.
Yeah,
so,
I mean, the logic still applies with money. I was just saying, like the issue with ANCAP isn't legal systems. Like it's just that they don't have like the ability to do certain economic things. That's why I think I think like ANCAP is the most ethical system, but it's really bad economically.
I keep cutting out right when you're about to enlighten me. I'm not trying to do this. Something's wrong with my internet.
Oh no, you're good.
Yeah, maybe try to restart or something. I don't know.
Like ANCAP's bad because of the econ, but it's not bad because of
Austrian. What's wrong with Austrian economics?
It's not Austrian. It's it's partly Austrian. Like,
what's wrong with it?
It's pretty hard to enforce free market environmentalism to some degree.
Yeah, you can.
Especially when you have like you can
environmentalist or something.
No, but it is like a negative social externality. Like it's not necessarily a bad thing to say this. Like,
externalities.
Have the environment be pretty good.
You know the tragedy of the commons?
Tragedy, yeah.
I think ANCAP deals with that through private property rights.
Yeah, but you're missing an issue. Is like, what if a company just like, hey, I'm tired of this lake. I want to dump my waste in the lake. I can buy the private property.
Is it their lake?
Yeah, it's their lake.
They have the right to.
Different issues. Like you could potentially create like a gas storm from the lake, is what I'm saying. But like, that's the problem. Is you run
it depends
into, like,
on whose lake it is.
You run into issues of saying shit exactly like that, where like whose lake is it, instead of just saying, hey, we probably shouldn't fuck over nature. But that's not even like my way.
Fuck nature doesn't have rights.
Fuck nature.
Nature itself does not have rights.
Yeah, who is nature?
I disagree.
Why should I care about nature?
How does
you
nature
can get so ethically fucked by ANCAP that you just like say shit like that.
Who is nature? That's not a person.
No.
Their property what they like.
You are correct ethically.
Okay, I'm correct ethically. Okay, so I'm not. Okay, so then we are correct.
But it's retarded economically.
Like, it's not retarded economically. If you privatize,
if you
privatize goods and services, you're gonna have less waste. Less waste leads to less environmental damage.
That is the most retarded thing I've ever heard. What the fuck?
How is that retarded?
But I mean, we can go.
That's just a fact.
Is like
That is a fact.
For instance,
Private companies go out of their ways to reduce as much waste as they can, so long as they're paying the consequences of that
majority
waste.
of emissions are like done. The majority of carbon emissions are done by private companies.
Yeah, probably because they produce a lot.
Yeah, they produce.
No shit,
why do you think they produce? Why do you think they produce that?
I wonder why.
Why do you think they produce that emissions? Because they're selling products to us in which we use. That they wouldn't be burning those fossil fuels if we weren't using it. Yeah, they're providing us goods and services that we
because of the
want.
consumers who buy those things.
Yes. Yes.
I don't care regardless of who's causing it. I do not give a fuck. Pollute.
If you're mad about that, then you could maybe just like go not use the environment in any way.
Go
just
live in the woods.
Live a hermit.
No.
Be a
but,
nomad.
Like, with if people emit carbon, then like it will get hotter no matter what I do. I can't escape it.
My ANCAP, I'm sympathetic towards ANCAPs. You guys are making the wrong argument here. Like, there is something called free market environmentalism, where like you can say that you are impeding on the environment as it is like some sort of private property, like in like a communal sense.
But that's what I'm arguing.
But you can regulate that, though.
I don't think that should be done through regulation. I think it should be done through private property rights. Fundamentally, if you spew something in the air, you have to pay those whom it affects. If you're spewing something in the air, you have to pay those whom it affects, and that if the people whom are spewing things in the air have to pay. Hold on, can I finish my argument, please? So when
you say the same thing over and over again,
I didn't say the thing. Oh, I never even said it once. So when you make companies pay for the pollution that they create, that would then incentivize them to cut down on the waste that they create, thus so that they can increase their profits.
KingSithis, do you think that ExxonMobil should have to pay every person in Bangladesh like a lot of money?
Or what have they done things in Bangladesh?
If they've done something to those people that requires it, yes.
They emit CO2, which causes the sea level to rise there, which like destroys their homes. Clear violation of the NAP.
Can you draw a direct causal chain between Exxon polluting and sea levels rising
pollutant,
there?
Okay, so I'll give you. How about this, JR? I'll give you an olive branch. I'll extend an olive branch.
General claim.
Yeah, I'll extend an olive branch. If you can directly prove that Exxon directly caused that thing to be done through some sort of, I don't know, maybe scientific research, then yeah, they would owe them restitution, yes.
Well, we already have the research. Yeah.
I'm already agreeing with you. I'm already agreeing with you. You should take the win.
Yeah, so why are you trying to obfuscate? Why are you trying to
Whoa, how am I obfuscating? I'm saying yes!
Well, except you're not saying yes. You're like suggesting that allegedly, if that were allegedly the case.
No, I'm not saying that you're wrong. I'm saying I haven't read the study, so how am I supposed to know? I haven't read that study.
It's pretty common knowledge right now that climate change is caused by emissions.
I didn't know about that.
No. You are making a general claim.
Right?
This is a specific claim about the specific company doing a specific thing to a specific set of people.
Well, yes, ExxonMobil.
Right? You can't make these general claims about climate.
Yeah, how am I supposed to know? Also, I don't know shit about Exxon.
Yes, we should have. Yes, you're right. We should have a class action where every company and individual that has ever emitted CO2 should pay money to every person who has ever been affected by the effects of climate change.
You would have to you'd have to draw all these you'd have to have all this evidence. You'd have to draw these causal chains, right? You need to prove it.
Ancaps, bro.
Assuming that you can prove all of that, assuming that you can prove all that, or prove all that to be true.
Well, yes,
then yeah, of course.
Climate change and it's bad, and that companies are causing it.
No. Proving climate change isn't enough.
Yeah, climate changing doesn't prove that someone did anything to you. Okay, you have to prove that thing was caused by a person.
Contribute to climate change. Do we specifically owe people? You'd have to prove that.
How much money do I owe you for taking a shit in a lake somewhere?
I don't know. I don't know.
And that's
why you'd have to.
Well, if there's no criminal, there's no crime.
Hold on. When I say how would Ancaps solve pollution, and you say, oh, we would do restitution. By your logic, this is what we would do. We would all have to pay each other shit tons of money every time we did anything, because pollution...
Well, no, not necessarily.
No.
I'm trying to help you. So that was going to more of a broader point there.
If that is the only way for ANCAP to solve pollution.
Not
No,
necessarily.
like you
What?
can have some sort of regulation based off like a private society. So like if I'm like the owner of Ancapistan, New York, right? Or whatever, like not necessarily like that in the same degree, but like my private enforcement agencies are like largely based in New York, and the companies that also operate in New York want to do, you know, pollution. They're also going to be using like Ancapistan, New York Rights Enforcement Agency A, which would say, hey, you keep fucking over other clients. Can you stop doing that? And you can kind of have regulations through that sort of degree.
See, ANCAP isn't so stupid after all.
Sure,
But-
that's just not like when I think of regulation. That's I'm not sure. I guess
That would just be private
maybe a
regulation.
fine term.
Yeah.
Yeah, you can have
guess.
private regulation. It's like the only thing.
It's kind of like
most
accrediting agencies, you know, that's like a private regulation, you know?
I just think most of ANCAP, like the truth is, like ANCAP will not be the most economically efficient society. It'll just be the most moral. That's why I'm very partial to ANCAPs.
Well, I think it's moral.
I mean, I think we should strive for what's most moral.
But you could make things
Even if they're
immoral.
moral.
Like, yeah,
I'm a
I think we should try to
consequentialist.
be more moral, even if being immoral
Dude.
or being immoral might be lead to some sort of gain. You know what I mean? To some people, like, for instance, like if I steal a whole bunch of money from like a rich guy and like give it to my family, like I might be positively helping my family or whatever, right? But I would still say it's wrong.
Well, yeah, that's I get the whole ethics
Mhm.
part of it.
Mhm.
I'm just saying, like, consequentially, like you have as an ANCAP, you're forced to be against consequentialism.
Yeah.
So like,
Yeah, and that's right.
I'm a consequentialist to some degree. Like, I think that if you're not, like, you're kind of like, I feel like you're kind of just in theory too much if you're not a consequentialist.
We're
to some
theory.
degree.
Whoa, are you calling us theory bros?
I mean, I've read
Well,
more
if the theory
theories
is
than
correct,
probably
then
both
why
of
should you reject
but
it?
like,
I know. That's a Dave Smith reference.
it's like no. I mean, I've read all of
Rejecting
the
a theory?
theory. I've been.
KingSithis, I have a very simple thought experiment. All right, would you rather one person die or two people die?
It depends on how they die.
All other things being equal.
One
Both
person.
get shot in the head.
Yeah,
One person.
one person.
Mm-hmm.
That's crazy.
How?
Why do you think? Why one person instead of two people?
Well, because there's less harm.
Oh wait, no, sorry. Fuck. What was that? Yes, the one person. Yeah, okay. So congratulations, you're a consequentialist.
Well,
Well, no, you like.
you're not
There's a good
understanding.
argument against that. So, like, if you have a society and there's like they run off this fucking child who gets tortured in a building over and over again, but it's a perfect society. Like everyone's meals are fed, or everyone has their meals. Like they all live in mansions, but the only way is they live off this child's, you know, suffering.
By a reference.
What?
Sorry, a reference to a. It's just a funny reference to a thing. Like there's a manga with this exact premise.
I'm pretty sure this is a famous critique of
Malas.
utilitarianism.
Malas. I think the people who walked away from Amalas or something like that.
I mean, I'm cool with like all of these ethical things being true and still saying I'd rather live in a better consequential society. Like for myself, like if Ancapistan will have slightly worse conditions for poor people, like that's probably objective.
I don't think so.
But like,
I don't think so. I think having more productivity through voluntary. I think we'll have more productivity, honestly, and that'll be better for poor people.
yeah, but like there's also like some sort of connection to like non-welfare trapped welfare, increasing class mobility, as well as like demand multipliers and shit like that. Like I can get into models, like, but again, the only way to do that's through
Economic
taxes.
models
So,
are
like,
ass.
What are you an empiricist when it comes to economics?
yes.
Disgusting.
I think.
Okay.
Well, I think the reason the Austrian school is dead is because of praxeology, and mostly Rothbard. Rothbard's a fucking retard. At least he like.
What?
I would
What's
say
wrong with
Rothbard-
praxeology?
Rothbard is the most economically illiterate economist that has like a platform.
How? Like,
How? What would make you say that?
He's a full reserve banker, which is probably the dumbest fucking thing ever. His critique of the NIT was that people would just stay poor because it would create a welfare trap, meaning he didn't fucking read the model. What else? He's a praxeologist, and like econ.
Wait, what's wrong with
praxeology?
what's wrong with praxeology?
It just doesn't like it just killed the school. Like
Okay,
so like
that's not an answer.
if you wanted to be like into econ today, you cannot be a praxeologist.
Okay.
Like, you can
if you want to be
also,
wrong,
like,
prove it's wrong.
you have to be right. You can't be. You have to object. You have to reject
Well,
being
like,
right.
until you
Yes.
can prove it's
If you want to
wrong,
be
like-
wrong, you have to reject being right. Yes.
what's wrong with mathematical modeling?
Because it doesn't work. It doesn't apply to the real world.
Okay, that's not like one you can
Economics
mathematically model anything.
Economics should apply to the real world.
So like you can do like certain you can use a scientific method on these mathematical models. Like this is like
But it doesn't
literally
tell
what
you anything.
Your Austrian. No. But like you understand, like the Austrians do this too. It's just they use it conveniently for them. So like
They do use it to disprove other economic models and things like that. But fundamentally, and there are Austrians that do use it, but fundamentally, they don't really. Most Austrians would agree that economic models don't really prove anything. They're just they're based off assumptions that could never really be.
So like yeah, I need you to like I want you to pick out one
non-falsified.
model. I want you to pick out one model that you think is just so
All of
garbage
them.
and doesn't talk about the real world.
All of them.
Okay, but can you name one?
No.
Okay, like that's kind of my point. I'll give you one. The Solo growth model. It's basically based off micro foundations that the Austrian school sort of built. So in order to disagree with the Solo growth model, which uses math, you also have to disagree with the assumptions that the Austrian school made in micro foundations, which is using math to say things somewhat descriptively of the economy.
Just because
And
there are
no,
some
they-
people in Austrian schools, the Austrian school that use model doesn't mean that we agree with them. I have to
Okay, so,
agree with
like,
them.
I think you think the Austrian school is just like human action. Like there's other parts to the Austrian school. Like they have their own models. I hope you understand that.
Yeah, but ours are better.
Can you name an Austrian model?
No, I don't really.
Okay, so then
I don't think
I would
economics
stop-
should be
I-
based off of models. I think it should be based off of human action and praxeology, because that
Sithis, I think you should stop talking about econ.
I could talk about econ all I want. You're just
Ooh, why?
mad.
Because he can't name your silly models. Like,
Yeah.
what, I don't. What
How
about
does
your
how
model?
does that
bro?
silly model tell me anything about the real world?
Because it can give you like
What
a
if
basic
the model
understanding of what's
What if
going
the
on.
model disagrees with like the theory? What do you do? Is
What?
the theory wrong?
Yes.
Could be.
You have to-
I feel like you have to
How is
like look at your, because the model is usually based around the theory itself. So like there's a model for the Austrian business cycle theory that is mathematically
It's
based.
based in
There's
the
a
correct
model.
theory, then okay.
Okay, but it's based on
Okay,
the
like,
theory.
I'm not like completely impartial to praxeology. I think like math or
But you would just
empiricism
wait a
without
minute,
theory
wait a
is
minute, wait a minute, wait a fucking minute. You were just saying how retarded it is, and now you're saying I'm
I
not.
think it's retarded for. I think it's retarded to be your basis of the school, but I'm not completely impartial to it. No, they can both.
What
be
is
true.
wrong?
Like,
You have not given me a single reason as to why praxeology is dumb. All you keep saying is that, oh well, the modern schools don't agree with it.
okay, so
So
like
what?
praxeology, you have to assume this to be true. If something is empirically proven over and over again, right? I'm not. This is completely unrelated, right? I'm not going to pull anything up currently, but something is completely empirically true 100 times over, and it disagrees with your theory. If you're a strong praxeologist, you'd have to stay true to your theory.
So, for instance, like,
Okay, so like
You can't prove anything to be 100% certain when we're talking about empirics.
well, the thing about
I
economic
know,
study
that's what I'm
is
saying,
that
you can't, is,
you can't test how it would have been had you not put that thing in place. All you could do is compare it to other places that had similar did something similar. So I could just be like, anytime you pull up an economic study that might show that, like, for instance, the minimum wage might have been higher, or what didn't affect the unemployment rate in this area.
I'll give you a specific.
Mm-hmm.
So Rothbard is very staunch that full reserve banking will not cause any deflation, or if deflation is good, and like in some degree is what Rothbard is.
Deflation's
somewhat
awesome.
saying.
Deflation.
Yeah.
So that's good. That's good. You didn't know. Awesome. So Rothbard would say deflation is not bad because of his theory, or XYZ, even though we know that deflation really hurts the creditor more than the debtor. Or sorry, the debtor more than the creditor. I made that backwards. What this does is, in a recession, if you have a deflationary spiral, the debtors aren't going to lend as much. What do you need during a recession? Do you need more credit or less credit?
More credit.
Yes. So if you have a deflationary spiral, right, and you're a debtor, are you going to make these loans when you can't?
Well, I mean, I'm going to be very honest with you. I don't really know much about banking. So
okay, so the answer is no, you won't. That's empirically proven over and over again, and theoretically.
But wait, this doesn't prove anything against praxeology. We were talking about praxeology.
We are. Rothbard would say that because his theory is derived as an a priori axiom of human action, or whatever the fuck, he would say that this theory is still ironclad and true.
I mean, yeah.
Even though...
Is there a problem with that?
His theory's wrong.
There could be. I mean, there are some people who who say that Rothbard was wrong about the full banking thing. I don't really know if it's true or not.
Simple, like, it is true. Like, you could just fucking read anything. Even like Hayek disagreed with this.
But you got to understand, banking isn't something as simple as just go read this.
Okay, I could explain it to you, but like, I don't really. If you really, like, I can explain why Rothbard's retarded. If you want me to keep going.
You think Rothbard's retarded? Do you really think he's a retard? Really?
On economics, yes. On ethics, no.
Okay. Just because you disagree with him on on that one thing, he's a retard.
It's pretty substantial, like, economic illiteracy, I would say. But he was really good at prax. He was a really good writer, and his ethics were pretty strong.
I mean, really strong, his views on banking was a bit controversial. I do know that, but I don't think that discredits him at all. And on his other economic theories,
his views on welfare policy were really bad, like especially for the NIT. I think he said that negative income tax. It was some about the Friedman. What I'm saying is, like, that's kind of the problem I have with prax, is like, if you're not willing to let empiricism somewhat determine if your theory could have some validity or not, I feel like you're having some sort of...
It's not that we don't look at empirics and, find it useful.
No, Rothbard didn't. Like, your own theorist didn't. Like, might not.
Rothbard is not a god, okay? I'm telling you what I think, right?
That's good. That's good that you don't believe in Rothbard. But I'm saying, if you're...
Hold on, I'm
like
not... Wait, let me finish. Let me finish. Okay, so just because, I don't base my ideology off of empiricism. I base my ideology off of the praxeology, and then, empiricism sort of just proves something that you already know. That's how I look at it, right? Empiricism is just sort of looking to see, how things are in the real world. But fundamentally, you have to have
Would you be willing to go backwards, though?
No.
That's my issue with like strict praxeology.
Because you can't go backwards, because if it's proven a priori. You can't.
So like no, I'm saying, like, if your a priori thing is like so true.
It is.
Like, and
how is it not true?
Are going so far against it. Would you be willing to change your mind?
if it's deductively necessarily true, then I would not.
If you
say,
can,
oh, the
if you could
empirics
deduce it,
overrides
if you could deduce
you
the
even
opposite a
question it?
priori, if you could deduce the opposite claim a priori in some way,
that
then
is
yes.
exactly my view. So you're good. But if you can deduce something strong the other way, which usually there is, like
that would be induction, right? If we're talking about
But
physics.
you know, just because a
I would
scientific study showed, like I was giving the example earlier, because there were some people that'd be like, "Hey, Sithis, there's this one study that shows the minimum wage didn't go, the unemployment didn't go down after this minimum wage hike." Well, it's just like, yeah, there may be one empirical study that might show that, but like I could just easily say, okay, well, how can you test how it would have been had you not put that thing there? Had you not put the minimum wage there? I could just easily say there would have been even less unemployment if you didn't put that in the first place. Well, you can't test that because you already put it in place. So you can't really like disprove it, even if there's some study that goes against it. Because I could just easily
I would double down on the theory. I would just say, can you give me a theoretical aspect of why this is true or not? Where you're saying with this is like
the seen and the unseen cost. That's what it's going with.
When you say something like that, it just kind of just goes against you just dismiss the study completely instead of really attacking the study, or like asking them why the study
how
is
could the
true.
study possibly?
Well, I mean, I could attack the study, but the issue is this. But if the study itself is flawed, I'm not gonna like.
If they have strong I don't agree with the policy, so I don't think there is one. But like they don't have a strong, theoretical backing. If they have a strong theoretical backing for why X is true, then I feel like you should have like some idea of willing to look at that study with a different lens.
They don't.
If the theory is true, if it were somehow true, and it was saying, oh, minimum wage actually good, or whatever, it goes against the Austrian theory of minimum wage or whatever.
Yeah,
that's
the thing.
Okay,
though,
sure. Somehow, not sure that would be the case.
The Austrian school isn't infallible. I want you to understand that. Like,
sure, I mean,
read other schools, please. But like,
I mean, minimum wage is definitely one of those things where it's like, yeah, this definitely.
Well, that's not exclusive to the Austrian school. Like the Keynesians don't like minimum wage, but
yes, I do know
mostly
that.
Politicians do.
But they dislike it for different reasons.
They dislike it for good reasons, for sticky wages reasons, but and general unemployment reasons, which is why the Austrians would say it's bad too. Like the Austrians aren't super vacuumed with ethics outside of Rothbard.
Mm-hmm.
So most of the Austrian economists are economists, not political philosophers.
Okay.
So would you disagree with me now? Are we in agreement now? Like Austrian school is based.
I would say you disagree with praxeology more than you think you do.
I don't think I do. In what way do I do?
Have you read epistemological or human action? Have you read human action?
I tried, but I couldn't finish it.
Okay. So Mises would literally say any mathematical modeling is bad. All mathematical modeling is a theory. It's just written in a different language that I don't know if Mises understood.
I don't disagree with that.
But it's totally fine. You don't disagree with all mathematical modeling is wrong?
Well, it doesn't really tell you much about the real world.
It does. Okay, this is good. All math is it's writing theory, like prose theory, in a different language. And I genuinely believe this, that there is an issue that the Austrians at the time were scared of mathematical modeling, even though mathematical modeling is literally just prose in a different language. And you can write the same prose and you can deduce it the same way, right? Except it's just a little more ironclad.
My thing is just you could do economic modeling, but the thing is it's not going to disprove praxeology. It doesn't disprove praxeology.
No, Mises said it would be against praxeologies using math and economics, which is outdated as fuck. And that was also
I mean, you could use mathematical modeling all you want. I'm just saying it's not going to go against the fundamental truths of economics.
I mean, most of it doesn't. What are these fundamental truths? Humans act. That's not a
human action. The action axiom, the scarcity. praxeology.
No mathematical modeling goes against that. Like they usually add constraints. Like
Well, people.
they
That's
usually
not
add
what people
some sort
claim.
of-
That's not what people claim when they use mathematical modeling.
What?
People claim,
Have you
oh well,
looked into these?
no. What people do is they make claims like, oh, see, look, the minimum wage in this situation didn't go down. The unemployment didn't go down in this situation, so therefore,
Wait,
it
that's
isn't
not a mathematical
praxeological.
model.
Oh, whatever.
Mathematical models are like the real the GDP formula. That's a mathematical model.
Oh, okay, got you. My bad.
You're talking about empirical models. So they're completely different. Mises was against mathematical models, which is totally fine because like Mises was against it in a time period where it was cool to be against it. Rothbard wasn't. That's why I shit on Rothbard and not Mises.
But I haven't really heard a good argument against praxeology.
I'm not against praxeology. I think that I'm more of a in the middle, like a Kantian rational. Or
But then you had like such strong. You seem like you had such strong reservations against it. But then, like when pushed,
I think it destroyed the school. I think it is not the best way to go about looking at empiricism. I think you should look at empiricism and not just dismiss it right away, which some Austrians do. The loud Austrians do. What?
I tend to. I tend to dismiss the claims that people make about certain empirical studies.
Yeah, that's where I would disagree with you. It'd be like, okay, if they have a theory behind it, which most of it's usually a non-issue. Like if they're somewhat.
Yeah, but is the theory correct?
Yeah.
That's
the question.
I think like empiricism should be used as a supporting role to theory. That's how I think it should be.
But that's what I'm saying. That's what I'm saying. I'm saying you could use empirical studies, right, to look at things, right? But it's never going to contradict praxeology.
So like the thing is like, okay, praxeology would say that I have an ironclad theory and I don't give a fuck what the empiricism says or the other theory says. I know my theory's good.
I mean, if it's good, it's good.
But if the empirics and the theory go against you, and there's a decent there's a logical line saying you're wrong, and the empirics support the other person.
Does the theory go against claims of like praxeology and like the fundamentals? Like you keep
the
like
fundamentals,
saying, like,
because the fundamentals, like the ones Mises laid out, are infallible because it'd be a contradiction. Like humans act. Like if you disagree, you're making a literal fallacy, right? Like that's infallible. But where he went with that, I believe, is wrong. That's why, like, I don't.
You're being like you're making like these vague ass claims. I can't.
Like what specifically?
Yeah.
Mises, like, what deductions, like, do you think that like people who have written and studied praxeology do you think are wrong specifically?
So, like, okay, if we had a study that said food stamps were positive, and we have the theory behind it that there's consumption multipliers. Once we do this, X, Y, Z, yada, yada. I can explain the model later, right? But then it would not be against the human action axiom, right? It would be against, like, the Austrian growth model, which would then be, some Austrians would then make the leap to say that it's against, like, human action to be against the Austrian growth model. And then they would say it's a praxeological claim, so I'm not going to look at your fucking empirics about food stamps being good.
Well, food stamps aren't good.
How could food stamps be good though? Like, what's the theoretical? Is there theoretical backing for that, or like, what would it look like?
Yeah, like you could have food stamps being good. I'm not even sure if I believe this. So, but food stamps would boost aggregate demand. Boosting aggregate demand is typically
Are you like a
good.
Keynesian or something?
I can pretend to be one.
Okay.
But here's the problem. Here's the problem. Like, then I could just easily say, hey, it would have been better if we hadn't put this food stamps in first place, and you can't prove that from your empirics. How can you prove that from your empirics after you've already put it in place?
Yeah, I can prove, but then we just go back to theory, and I have a supporting role that says my food stamp argument was better, where you don't. And then I can also say that my theory is proven using some sort of deduction as well as empirical evidence, then you would have a mute point.
Okay, what's the deduct?
How do you disprove something that you can't prove in the first place? Because like you can't even prove that how it would have been had you not put it in place. It's impossible.
No, okay, but that would just be back to theory. But like I
That's
would
not
say
theory.
that
That's
having
empirics.
No. I was saying like we could go back to the Keynesian theory of foods of like welfare economics, right? And we can say that it's good because of this. And I think that a stronger case is having empirics well as not having empirics. So like the theory is strong and you have empirics, I think it's a really good theory.
How is the theory strong though? Like food stamps is just like misallocation though if it's like taxation. That's bad.
Taxation is a
like,
misallocation of scarce resources.
That's not economically efficient like that.
I mean, if you look at the, if you think, just think of the, what you call it, the, fuck, why my brain is broken right now. The broken window fallacy. There we go.
I mean, yeah, but like there's other things that go into it. Like, for instance, like the broken window fallacy is a good like point. But so when you have like welfare economics, right? You're looking at like, is the money we're giving this person above $1 to the economy, or is it not? So like you can do this by like making some sort of multiplier, be like change in consumption versus change in investment, and then through that,
But that's
like,
an assumption.
Can see investment.
All of this is an assumption. That it just assumes that that money, when taken from that person, is spent on something that does benefit that person. But I could then easily say...
We could say this about any sort of thing about economics, though. Like,
I know, that's the issue with economic modeling.
Then
it's all assumptions.
Be against economics at all, because you're bastardizing the Austrian school.
No, it's not economics. I'm not bastardizing the economic school. I'm bastardizing these models that you're making assumptions based off of. They're not fundamentally.
Like we could also deduce it too. Like so a person now has extra money.
Please deduce it. Okay, wait.
A person has extra money in their bank account. They're more likely to spend this extra money that they did not have previously because they have they can now get some of their needs.
But that's but you're assuming.
They shouldn't have had it then. If it was
you're assuming. Here's what you're assuming. You're assuming that the person whom you stole it from wouldn't have spent that money better had you not taken from them. How do you know that they wouldn't have spent that money had you not taken it from them? If you take money from a rich person, how do you know they wouldn't have reinvested it into the economy and created more productivity than giving it to some poor person? You don't know that.
Well, because consumption and investment act a little bit differently in like micro models.
When you look at the economy, right? People's human action, when you force something against somebody out against their will, you're automatically misallocating scarce resources because that's something that would have went to something that that person wanted, but it's now going to something that you think another person wants. But you don't always. But because of the ECP, you don't always know what other people want because you don't have the prices. Because you don't have private property and the means of production, you can't make that decision as efficiently as the person who's either as the person themselves or some business owner that's relying on prices.
Wait, hold up, sorry, don't use the ECP for this. You can use the knowledge problem but not the ECP.
Or the knowledge or the knowledge problem.
That's applicable here.
Mm-hmm.
I
feel like you're LARPing right now, bro. Are you fucking LARPing right now?
No, I could full LARP if I wanted to, but like,
please don't.
I'm trying to be like somewhat. If I full LARPed, I could. I'm not trying to be. I could probably like say some more ironclad things. I'm trying to be true to my beliefs. But
you could probably destroy me because I don't know much about economic modeling.
That's why I'm not going full Keynesian here. I'm thinking of things full Keynesian, but I don't believe in them, so I'm not saying them.
Mm-hmm.
But so
you'd be wrong.
What?
Because you'd be wrong.
I think.
Bro, I mean, I don't say this. I fuck with you. Who's the other guy? Because he thinks he knows shit about econ, bro.
Okay, I think he's a pretty cool guy. I like him.
No, he's a cool guy. But he don't know ball, but
He's learning. He's learning.
back to-
He's a new Ancap, but he has potential.
Yeah, New Austrians are the worst.
He has potential.
They're the worst people ever.
But I don't really know how much he knows about econ. I feel like he knows pretty well. He's on the right path.
Yeah, he's probably. I think I'll show you. I'll teach him how to. I'll show him the right econ path if he's interested in econ. But
yeah, bro. Gotta join my Discord.
I think I'm already in your Discord.
Alright, based.
But
and JR, you gotta talk more in my Discord. We need more dissidents.
Back to
wait,
it.
what?
Dissidents.
I'm gonna raid your server, alright? I'm gonna spam it with those ANCAP smiley memes, alright?
I don't care. I don't care as long as you don't break the rules. I don't care what you do. Like,
there are no rules because it's ANCAP. Wait,
well,
no,
I mean, there's like no my main rules are no porn, nothing illegal, and no like Nazi shit or racism.
Oh wait, Sethis, you might remember me. I was the guy I cooked taxation as theft on monetary policy.
Yeah, I remember
In
that.
a debate one time.
I remember you messaged me and you were like, "Oh, I'm LARPing a bit," and I was like, "Oh, okay." And then I kind of like let you guys, talk.
Yeah.
But the thing about banking stuff is I'm not very like, I'll admit I'm not like the most well versed on that stuff. So, I just know kind of the basics.
Sorry, I didn't mean to go back to the welfare account, but so like for instance, are you aware of like general like household household like maximization? Probably. I don't know why I asked that. So like households will maximize like their basically budget to some degree. Hopefully that's not too controversial here. But
what do you mean?
When you have so like if you are, it's called the Euler equation. I'll just send it out. I'm not like I'm not to the point of this shit where I can explain it in really easy terms yet. So that's why I'm struggling. But so you have like this equation. It's basically like, do households maximize income? Yes. Or they try to the best of their ability. That's why they have, some sort of multiplier based off of like, hey, they might not do it as well as others. And there's some preferences involved, right? They account for that in models to give like a generalized view. But so like investment and consumption act differently. So like investment is like future goods versus present goods, or basically like that versus consumption. So when you have investment, like especially like when people's needs are not met, so like food stamps, for instance, like people who need food, you can have like this food that would no longer be, this is a need, like the demand is there but it can't be met because they don't have the money. That food would go towards some sort of profits in like an Aldi. And now that Aldi stakeholder has 1.2 extra dollars from like the dollars that he would not have gotten previously. And that's how like he will now have generalized growth in an economy, because consumption went up on household maximization, meaning the production function would match that. Keeping taxes constant, which they would be in like a short-term model, you would basically have somewhat of an increased growth just based off that fact alone.
Mm-hmm. The Austrian response.
Like when you say growth, like what?
Oh, go ahead.
The issue I have there is like, I guess, which we mentioned earlier with like misallocation. Like, okay, so like the government's giving food stamps to poor people, and then they're gonna.
So like, would you say like giving people money to get their needs met as being a misallocation?
Yes.
Yeah.
So like the demand.
Well, it depends on how you're doing it.
Because you're having an inelastic market.
Well, through taxation. Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, like taxation or not, it still somewhat acts as the same way. So like, whether it's done through charity or through taxation, right? The same exact policy is being done. it still has similar effects on the economy.
No,
right?
that's
You
not
can
true.
say it's unethical. You could say
No,
it's
no, 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 no,
unethical.
that's not true.
Sure.
Not true. Not true at all. Because when you take something from somebody by force, that's money that they would have spent on something that they actually wanted. When you take that money from them,
Yeah,
that's destroying wealth.
like when you're making taxes,
When
they're
somebody
not, like,
uses a
actually
charity
spending,
or
they're
buys
investing.
something, they're spending on something on that they actually want. So that's a net positive. So that when somebody gives something to somebody like a charity, that's a net positives to both parties. When you give somebody
Okay,
something
I get your point.
to a taxation, there's a net negative to the person who's being given to, but a net positive to the person being given to. So then you would have to basically positive and outweigh those positives and negatives, and then you would have to assume that the person who is spending it, whom you're taking it from, is going to spend it on something better than what the person whom you stole it from would spend it on. But you don't know what that person would have spent it on after you stole it from them. You can only see what the person whom you stole it from and gave it to spent it on.
It kind of depends what your goals are. Like, so like we can show that like the economy will grow more through this than it would otherwise. Like, investment and consumption are not equal, right? Investment would be more of a long-term plan. Like, hey, people's needs are met. But when people's needs are not met, like, I would say it's generally a good thing to have that. Now, like, obviously, like, the economy should be stable before you do something like this, right? Like, investment shouldn't be in the shitter, but like,
But when you don't
these
account,
are like, these are cheap. These are way cheaper models than, like, I think you realize. Like,
but
you
here's
could
the
probably
problem with
fund
these
this with,
models:
like,
when they don't account the broken windows fallacy, they basically are doing is they make the negative, the what I think is wrong, the assumption that taxation and charities have the same utility, but when you take something from somebody, it's not the same. It's like this
it has
taxation.
the same utility to the household. I should say that it doesn't have the same utility
on the model,
to
on a technical model, but not to the person whom you're taking it from. You know, if I'm for instance with a charity,
like the household you're bringing it to.
So for instance with a charity, if I give money to a charity, I'm profiting, and the person whom I'm giving it to is profiting. But if you steal money from me and give it to a charity, even if the person is benefiting more than what I would have spent it on, I'm negatively affected while that person is positively affected. So that then cancels each other out a little bit. So there's always going to be less wealth creation.
By other factors. Not everything's a zero-sum game, though. So, like, it's like the same idea as, like, giving workers. Like, not everything's a zero-sum game.
Yeah.
So, so just because you give, like, you're getting taxed or whatever, stolen your money from, whatever you want to call it, you also could reap economic benefits from that. So, like, let's say, like,
hold on, you're misunderstanding what I said. I'm not saying you could reap a economic benefit, like, on the whole, right? You could theoretically steal something from somebody, and then that person whom you gave it to would be better off than what that person whom you stole it from would have spent it on.
No, I'm saying the economic benefit from the person you stole it from. That's what I'm trying to go for.
I know, that's what I'm saying too.
In what way?
But what I'm saying is, what you got to take into account is when you take money from some parties. Okay, so again, when you give money to another person, you're both benefiting. Both parties are benefiting. But when you take money from another person and you give it to another person, both parties are not benefiting. They're not always benefiting. For instance, so in the first situation, they're always benefiting. In the second situation, they're not always benefiting. Both situation, they're only benefiting if you're taking money from them and spending it on something that they wanted, but which is not always the case because of the knowledge problem. Or if the person whom you're giving it to, their utility is just so great that it outweighs the harm being done to the other person. So it's nowhere near in the same ballpark as in terms of utility, because this utility could outweigh the utility, or the utility could outweigh the utility. But there's still this utility there in the second thing. But in the first one, where both parties agree, they both have utility in every situation because they're both agreeing.
I mean, I get the point. Like, I'm not, like, super for taxation.
I know
just saying,
that.
like,
I'm just saying that when you tax, right, you're necessarily destroying wealth more than a consensual transaction. Like
destroying wealth.
a
No,
priori.
I would say no. Like the economy is growing more if you tax than not tax. But like,
So resources are not being allocated.
But
to
then
where
I
they
could
should be
say,
going.
I could just say the resources would be better if the state wasn't misallocating all these resources.
No, this is where like, you're just not understanding the model.
There's the
Like,
seen
okay.
and the unseen, man. How do you know it would have been better if that money just would have been left to where it should have been?
Because it would be either the velocity would be lower to some
Well,
degree.
how do you
So,
know
like,
that? You
velocity
can't
is
see that after it's been done, put in place.
Oh.
I mean, okay, like you can try to like ignore, like just try to logic your way out of it, but like I think you both know that like the taxation money is not like billionaires are not spending, or not billionaires, but like wealthy people in general. That's how I'm advocating for negative income tax. What I'm trying to say here. Wealthy
Giving
people,
money. Is the government
yeah,
giving
it'd be
people money?
cash-based welfare. It's way better than what we do currently. But
It's retarded.
It's a misallocation of resources.
I think libertarianism is retarded, but that doesn't mean I'm going to say that to you. Like, be respectful. Shit.
I don't really care.
Well, we're not. I don't think he was being retarded.
Unfortunately.
I mean, disrespectful.
No, he was just being
I
disrespectful.
mean, I just said the idea is retarded. Like, okay.
Well, the idea of libertarianism is retarded. Well, we're at a net zero.
Hold on. I mean, I'll just explain that.
I'm glad we finally agree on something, Maxim.
But no, like,
you have
if
no
you have,
arguments,
like-
Jr.
Yeah, I've argued with it before.
So like when you have like cash-based investment, it's not increasing velocity in the same degree as consumption would be, which means that firms.
What do you mean when you
like
say velocity?
How fast money's changing hands.
Okay.
So when you have that velocity increase, you're having more products go into firms' hands, which will then lead firms into like higher levels of capital allocation through that. So like all that matters is the multiplier is higher than the single dollar, which it is because it's not being left idle. So when idle resources, you should tax idle resources for the most part. And you could say, well, hey, they're saving it and they're saving it in a bank X, Y, Z. They're using it better, but I would say it's not necessarily misallocation in the same degree. Like you can say it's technically misallocation under an Austrian lens, which okay, cool, whatever. But I would say it's economically beneficial. Because that's why I don't want to get through this like long Austrian like fucking semantic.
Yeah, we're just gonna be
bullshit.
going back and forth on theory and models,
Is that
theories and
just
models. So
it literally is semantics. Like we.
No.
This is kind of what I was saying about I don't like Austrians as much as I used to. Is like I can prove.
you're just
to
mad
you
because we're better
theoretically-
than you.
I know more Austrian shit than you, bro.
No, we're us Austrians. No, not we, as in me and him, as in us Austrians are better than you.
I would still classify myself as an Austrian, but
Really?
Oh, so then you
yeah.
think we're better?
What?
As in, you think us Austrians
think,
are better?
I think the Rothbardians are really fucking stupid. But other than that, the Austrian school is pretty cool. Like Hayek, Garrison, Lewin, they're all pretty cool. But
what about Mises?
Mises was old and foundational, but he's not good. Like if you try to apply Mises today, it's just gonna be bad. But this is my problem. Like I can prove to you that the economy is growing better and faster, but you'd say that it's a general misallocation because it's taxed. And like, okay, that doesn't do anything for us. Like it doesn't move anything forward.
Well, it does.
You're
If
arguing
you
for
believe in
lefties.
the Merkin window fallacy, you would know that that money would have been better spent had it been left in the hands of the individual whom it was stolen from.
I'm saying
thus
that idle
creating
resources
more
is not better
economic,
spent.
you know.
I'm saying that when people have
the
their
ECP, then the
their
ECP will answer
consumption needs
that.
met, that it's better for the economy. So like if I'm a person who's
Well, then you
struggling
got
to
the
make ends
ECP.
meet, it's not the ECP, it'd be the knowledge problem. And it also is
knowledge
not going to
problem.
run into the knowledge problem because you're not allocating resources based off that, you're giving money to people. It's a very different understanding of the ECP and knowledge problem. Like the knowledge problem is based off.
I don't know, bro. You're taking money from other people and just arbitrarily choosing to give it to other people.
You're not really arbitrarily. You're arbitrary based off like a poverty line. I guess the poverty line is
How do you
somewhat
choose the
arbitrary,
poverty
but
line? Yeah, there you go.
that's why I just said that. But I would say like whatever it is, 30K a year, and then we can make the negative income tax from there. That way,
Why?
people that
Why?
want to eat food can get their
Why
food
30K?
like needs it, and then they can consume, and then the economy grows because they're possibly able to invest more than they wouldn't have,
They shouldn't
or
be
they can move up
consuming
in class.
that much then. As
What?
much as they are. If they're given all this money, right, from the government or whatever, through food stamps or whatever, and then, they're spending this money at stores or wherever, then evidently they should not be consuming that because,
They're spending their money on
order-
what? Sorry, you cut out.
whatever
Your
products
mic,
are
your mic is a
consumed.
bit low.
Oh, shit.
I mean, it's not like necessarily that. Like poor households are typically not what should we want. Like even like from a Hoppian sense is we want time preferences to move, right? So the best way we can get time preferences to move is to make the lower income class have time preferences moving. So like the Austrian growth model is basically we want the time preference to lower. How can we do that? The Austrians like completely denied welfare as a way to do this, which I don't know why. Well, I know why Hayek didn't, because Hayek was smart. But what we can do is we can basically lower the time preferences and have basically exponential growth past what would be like considered idle, which would be like
How are you
saving.
lowering time preferences in this way?
What?
Wait, so are you saying you can lower time preferences through like negative income tax or whatever?
Yeah, I mean, so like
How?
it's basic time preference theory. Like, so if I'm making 30K a year and I'm fucking grinding my ass off, right? That's why negative income tax is better. It doesn't create a welfare trap. And I want to invest. I want to save. What?
Sorry, I just don't see how it doesn't, but continue.
I'll explain that later. That might be a little complicated for now. But so like if I'm grinding my ass off, right? I got 30K a year, and I want to move up, and the only way I can move up is if I save 10K. Well, if I have making 25K a year without the negative income tax, I will not be able to save and invest. Meaning my time preference is not going to change, right? I'm going to want goods now rather than later just because I literally can't. Like I literally don't have the ability to save the extra 5K here. Right? So if we move that slowly to the other people, which affects a larger portion of people than like the investors, that would basically be giving money to the people that would be giving the stimulus of some degree, right? You would see that they would consume what they need, they would save more because they have a larger portion of income, which would then lower the interest rate. And because they lower the interest rate, you would have a generalized growth of capital. Capital growth would typically lead to more economic output growth, and then people's real wages increase through that logic. Now, what Sithis' argument is, wouldn't the investors do that the same way? And the answer is no, because they are investing, which would say have capital growth. However, the capital growth needs to be based off a time preference change. And because time preferences are not changing, that the capital growth is not really changing in the same rate or nearly as fast.
I would say that.
So,
I'm kind of bad. Maybe you said you wouldn't say that, but
I actually don't know
feel
what I
like-
would say to that, honestly.
I feel like the whole because you said earlier with negative income tax, like it isn't a welfare trap, and I feel like that might kind of be relevant here because if the idea there is that like basically people who are able to get welfare due to you're choosing like the poverty line or whatever are essentially being incentivized to stay poor. Doesn't that apply here? Wouldn't that also have adverse economic outcomes?
yes, real welfare traps do. The negative income tax is not a welfare trap. So like you can never make less money making more money in the negative income tax. So how welfare trap is defined is like if I'm making 20K right now, but I get welfare benefits that move my income up to 30K, and then I make 27K and I lose all those welfare benefits, it's a welfare trap. Right? The negative income tax runs off like basically a linear model. So like, if I make 15K and it's boosting me to 30K, I will get whatever stimulus from the government, right? To get me to 30K, so 15K. And if I make 20K, then I make. Actually, sorry, it's not quite like that. It's slightly less. So if I'm making 15K, it brings me like 29K, and if I make 20K, it brings me to like 29.5K, and if I make 25K, it brings me to 30K, and then it slowly tapers off to where like I'll never make less money for making more money. So it doesn't have the class issue of not wanting to like economically move up and down.
Well, it's still unethical.
It's unethical. Yeah, sure, it's unethical, but I think it's the best economic system. That's why like I think I really like that Sithis is consistent. Is he will never concede consequentialism, which is based as fuck.
Thank you.
I mean, I agree.
I mean, because you could like. Sorry.
I'm not sure. Like, I'm not sure. I don't feel like you're correct. I'm just not sure. Yeah, on the economics.
I would say that you could make an argument for like, oh, this situation could create positive utility because the utility of helping the person outweighs the disutility of taking from the person.
Why would you get rid of capitalism like that?
Huh?
Wait, do we have a communist? Do we have a communist?
I'm not a communist. No, I'm technically completely different.
I was just let me. Can I finish my statement?
Sorry, I got excited.
I was just gonna say that
I'm more
it is
radical than a communist.
Oh my god. Anyways, so what I was going to say was, yeah, it is possible for that to happen, although it's more often less likely than not to happen. But you know, then there's just like, okay, well, that's unethical because you're robbing people.
Yeah, I mean, I could be wrong on ethics, but I concede consequentialism, so I'm too late. I'm too far gone.
Wait, did you say you're a consequentialist?
Well, I'm glad that you admitted that I'm super based, unlike all these other people who talk shit about me all the time.
Well, I would say you're unbased on economics. You're based on ethics. So that's what I'll just leave it there.
Wow.
But you don't have to be as autistic as I am on economics. Like, I would highly not recommend spending 5 years of your life reading about econ. It's not very fun. I enjoy it, but no one else probably would.
Yeah, I'm not really worried about being a expert on everything economics. I just believe in the NAP.
Well, you're a libertarian, of course. You're not an expert on anything economically.
Wait, hold up. What are your contentions with capitalism?
It's an outdated system. We are in late stage capitalism, which makes it even worse.
We've been in late stage capitalism for the past 1,000 years, but okay.
Yeah.
That's not true.
Okay, keep going. Do you think that labor is a determinant of value?
Is labor determinant of value?
Yeah.
I wouldn't say so.
Fuck.
So he's not you don't believe in LTV?
He's not a communist. He's a technocrat. But like technocrats aren't like real.
Describe that acronym. I'm horrible with acronyms, names, numbers.
Labor theory of value.
Yeah, no. I believe in the energy credit system and how that would work. If you don't know how that is, I'll tell you.
I'm pretty sure I've heard of this, but I want to make sure so I don't like bastardize your
I don't know.
beliefs.
So,
I've never heard of that.
So first of all, the currency system that technocracy wants is it's only for amenities, and then there's a separate one for food. And what you have with the energy credit system is items are based off of the amount that the state has for that resource that it took to be made, if that makes sense.
Oh, so it's all state planned to some degree?
Yeah.
How would you economically calculate?
Economic calculation problem.
He's a commie.
No, energy credits fix that.
How?
So,
Jinx.
Yeah.
Energy credits work as stated. If you have a certain amount of A resource, okay, and a certain amount of B resource, okay. Let's say you have more than of A resource of this year and less of B resource this year, then the price of that resource for the individual trying to buy or procure a consumer good is going to rise and lower because of how much that material is and how much there is of that material.
Wait, so is the government?
What do you call this form of economic calculation, if you don't mind me asking?
It's called energy credits.
Gotcha.
So wait, really quick, who's determining the price? Is the consumer or is it the government?
It's based on so it is a calculation done by.
I know it's based
on the price.
It's okay. So the price is calculated by the government.
Yeah.
Are you aware of a basically what you just described is similar to the cockshot model, if you know what that is?
I would say it's more similar. I mean, I'm not familiar with the term, but I would say it's pretty similar to a weird form, and it's an odd descriptor of how mining towns and mining currency work. If you understand that.
What did you call it again? Energy what?
Energy credits is what they're called. That's
So
what the system is called. Look up technocracy energy credits. You should get something along those lines.
when you have any sort
Would
of
a technology
price system that is not done by utility, you're going to have disequilibrium, and that's
It
the
is
only way.
done
So
by
it,
utility.
energy credit
what?
system
It's
solve
the utility
ECP?
that it has is that since it is based off of the amount of it, the utility is you will be able to have and curtail what people spend based off of how much there is. So it's based off utility, not
No,
just for
so
you,
the
but for
utility
everyone.
of the individual. So like when you're looking
That's
at
just
equilibrium
rarity.
models.
Yeah.
So like when you're looking at utilitarian, or sorry, I'm retarded. Equilibrium models. The prices that are described by marginal utility of the individual, of the consumer on a micro scale. What you do is when you put that in the hands of one person, you're taking away the marginal utility aspect of it on the micro scale. You're putting it on a macro scale. The macro scale does not have the same conditions of demands. Like they don't understand demand the same way that a consumer would. All I'm asking is, would you say there's disequilibrium on a large scale? And if you concede that, then I have no other point.
Well, okay, let me say that. I'm not going to pretend like all this, right?
Okay.
This is the first time. Hold on. This is the first time that somebody has used these specific wordings and all that jazz. Okay, let me say that.
It's probably a little more.
Yeah, but I will say this. Okay, let me put it into this perspective. Okay, if we have a resource that is within a high demand, okay, but it is in a high quantity, right? And the price is artificially inflated. What is that within this metric, if you don't mind me asking?
Wait, so you're saying high utility, high demand and high price,
Yeah,
high quantity, in a capitalist system, or is in a technocrat system?
This isn't not technocrat. This is in a capitalist system.
So this would typically be a cause of some sort of monopoly. There's a deadweight loss there. Yes.
So I just looked up. You could laugh at me, but I use ChatGPT for a lot of shit. So energy credit.
I will laugh at you.
Yeah, energy credits
that's
measure.
Not a very good way to do it.
You're gonna need, if this, because I'm guessing how niche this theory is, it's gonna have very few theorists that are like they're fucking preachers.
So yeah, so I just looked up. Hold on, just allow me to finish, please. So here's the issue: energy credits measure energy and not value. So you're confusing physical input with economic value because because something takes
ChatGPT that's pulling something.
Hold on, can you hear the argument? Can you hear the argument?
I'm already discrediting you because what you just said doesn't align with what technocracy and how technocrats, which mind you, use this terminology first, in this whole thing. So like, I don't know what you're on about. Like that. That is something that you see in sci-fi, not actual not how it was viewed in the 20s. Okay, completely different.
Okay,
but
so just because something uses 5,000 joules of value, just because something uses 5,000 volts to make something doesn't tell you nothing about whether or not it's worth making.
I'm not even saying that. You're just taking a point I've said and then conflating it with B point. Okay, it's just a name. That's all it is.
Okay.
What is?
Oh, energy credits.
But what I would say is that it wasn't a failure of capitalism. That's a failure of market, as of like crony capitalism or some sort of barrier to entry on a market.
The market is capitalism. The free movement of this capital is what the capitalism is. This is why capitalism, as an example, has only existed for about 400 or so years.
So
it's kind of
no,
what
like,
humans
I'm trying to say-
default to, but whatever.
Humans don't default to capitalism. That's not true.
On a mass
Yeah,
scale.
capitalism is a relatively new system. I will say that
In
is true.
terms of ideology, maybe, but in terms of
Oh, yeah.
operation and
In terms of
on
how
a
it also
market base, market value, the
Yeah,
values may be
Capitalism is.
different, but you can still
I view
call it some sort of
capitalism
venture
as just being the free market. You know, just two people.
Yeah,
I exchange you this
if you
thing
view
for.
it as that, even if you view it as that, that's a relatively new thing.
No, it's not.
I'm pretty sure tribals were like, you give goat, I give daughter, like thousands of years.
A barter
That's not
system
the
has
free
been
market.
around.
That's a barter
The
system.
barter
That's not a market.
barter system has been around
Barter
for
systems
since
are
the
not a
beginning of
market.
man.
Barter systems are not a market.
Yes. What? What would make you think
They're not
that?
a market.
Yes, it is. I give you
When you
this
think
for
of
that. That's a market.
That's not a market.
You just developed an individual market between two people.
Yeah, I'm giving you this in exchange for that. That's a market.
Retarded.
I mean, you could call it retarded, but that's definitionally what that is.
It isn't. You're trying to expand it to a point because you want it to agree with you.
I'm not expanding it. That's just what it is. That is what it is. That's just what it is. A market is when two people exchange goods and services.
Goods and services, okay?
Yeah.
If you're doing a good for a service, all that jazz, it is not a barter system. I'm not giving you a service for a good, and I'm not giving you a good.
Bartering
for a good.
is a
I'm giving you
type
something for something.
is a type
Okay?
of exchange,
It's not a,
right?
It's not a market. It's not a market. It's an exchange. It's not a market.
It's a type of exchange that you make in the in a market.
No, you do not.
This
This
is
is a semantic. Yeah, exactly.
It's not semantical. It's just a fact. I mean, you could get mad about it, but it's a fact.
So this,
I'm not mad. You're just trying to conflate things.
I'm not conflating
it is technically
anything.
correct to say as such, yes, but it is semantics in the end.
I mean, it is. I mean,
like
but-
both of you are kind of right and wrong. Just get over it. All right.
I'm willing to accept that. Sure.
Like
Either
yes,
way
it's
you
a
put
market.
it, though.
The way he's talking about it, it's not a market because I'm guessing he has some definition of a market from a theorist that does not define that, and we have a definition of a market that's different. It's most likely from Mises.
Yeah, again, capitalism
So-
in the modern sense has only
Fucking
existed
love
for like
Mises.
400 years.
But and he is true on that with like stock exchanges and shit.
Yeah.
But continue why this does not run into the ECP.
Say that again. Last bit there.
Why does it run into the ECP? You said something about it's based off utility, but it's based off utility that is not from consumers themselves. It's based off a central power or central planning system.
Yeah. In general, like on the utility thing, right? If you have it to where that a resource can be gatekept in a monopoly, which is effectively what every capitalist wishes to achieve, in every single instance, in every single case, monopolies are the norm within capitalism. They are not state-sponsored. They can form naturally, and so on and so forth, right? In fact, just as an example of this, by the way, when capitalism was first founded, a state monopoly to sponsor the entire operation, the Dutch East India Company, was actively founded alongside it. So yeah, you could argue, you can even argue that a monopoly made capitalism, being the Dutch East India Company, made the stock market, therefore making capitalism as we know it today.
Well, I think there is a large state-backed problem you're running into there. Like the Dutch East India Company was largely given power from the British Empire. I will say my
Empire.
Yeah,
My
companies
world-
operate very differently without state. Let's just say assistance.
yeah. If
But
you don't
you
have
don't-
state assistance, there's no way unless you're a criminal organization, which is another, just a proto state.
Are you
There's no real way for you to stop another company from coming in and competing with unless you live in an area that's like extremely low populated, you know.
Or you just drive them out.
How?
Well, if you're operating under the non-aggression principle, how would you do that?
Yeah.
Non-aggression principle doesn't work.
Okay, well, that's more semantical bullshit.
That doesn't answer the question.
You know what competition?
Hold on. This is the
excuse me.
If you come into a place to where a individual is trying to set up a monopoly, okay? Doesn't matter if it is a single town. It doesn't matter what. Okay. All that individual must do is have enough funding to effectively put their prices so far down that they do not need to make a profit like the other guy does. And this is why within the modern day, American, Japanese, and Korean companies largely dominate over every single African country because they effectively can. They can push out every single African country because if the company starts there, then they can just top it over. Same with India. Very few Indian companies are actually able to get off the ground because of this principle. Really, only the ones that are sponsored by their government are the ones that get off the ground. Now, the whole thing with this is... What was that?
Because they're like subsidized and backed by the government. Of course, if you get the government to back you and benefit you, you might be able to outcompete other people. That doesn't mean you're more efficient, though.
No, that doesn't mean anything. What I just said there is that the companies that come in there are monopolies and are actively not affecting to the efficiency of the people, which matters more than any other thing, okay? Who gives a shit about a billionaire? Who gives a shit about any of this? The people matter more than anything, okay? And in India, by the way, these companies don't typically become monopolies within the Western sense. They become little state-run organizations, not like state-run, but like they're in their specific like canton region, and that's how they operate there, right? And it's a whole complicated little mess they got going on. But
so you're not against monopolies. You just want monopolies that are run by the state.
No, I'm against capitalism. I'm against every single monopoly.
So wait, do you support the state?
Yeah, I support the state. Yeah.
So then you do support monopoly.
I support the monopoly on violence.
So then you do support at least a monopoly on violence.
Yeah, I'd say that.
Okay.
But hold up.
But wait, why do you support the monopoly on violence as opposed to, but hate all other monopolies?
It's going to be a monopoly of violence. And
so that makes it okay.
A wealth-based monopoly is always, it doesn't make it okay. It doesn't make it anything. I don't think any of these things are okay or bad. I think they're working within their best interest. Okay. Now the issue with what you're trying to say here is you're trying to put an emotional argument on it. Don't do that. Horrible fucking thing to do.
I'm not making an emotional argument.
He just said it was an inconsistency.
Yeah, it's just showing you that you're inconsistent.
That's not what he did, but okay. Either way, the issue with what you're trying to do, okay? It's not cope, by the way. The issue with what's going on here is that a wealth-based monopoly, there we go, fucking hell, I couldn't come up with the word. A wealth-based monopoly is always going to orient towards the smallest amount of people because it's going to organize itself around the centralized wealth center, okay? The people who make the most money. Who are those? They're always at the top, okay? So you get one person making the majority of the money, or maybe a group of people, okay? Now, and that doesn't have to include just one company. Several companies can do this, and several companies have. Now, the issue is with a state, quote-unquote, monopoly, okay? It is actively forced to work in the best interest of the people because it is made up of the people. And if it doesn't act in the interest of the people, then those people could very well tear down the system. This is the issue with what you're working with here. Nobody can tear down a system of wealth because it does not benefit somebody who is being slightly fed, even though that individual is being undercutted, massively fucked over. They are still comfortable, even though that their skills are much better, much more used, or they're even being exploited for a variety of reasons. They do it because guess what? Why would they want to risk it? I don't blame them for that, but they're being abused, whether you enjoy that or not. And you only get that under capitalism. You don't get that under a state-based system.
Wait, all of these are state-based systems. Every system in which you're describing was based in a state-based system.
To pretend that just because you delete the capitalist perspective or metrics from a society does not mean those resource differences will not apply to any other given society.
You're right. That's why we need the right kind of government.
Wait, hold on.
It's a religion, basically.
I mean,
it's a religion, basically. That's why I think socialism is essentially a religion.
That's
it is.
retarded.
It is a religion. It is a religion. You're basically saying like,
view that as a religion.
if only we had the right savior, you know, the right person that knows how to, you know, allocate the scarce resources in the right way, we would be able to figure it out.
No matter what you enjoy or disenjoy, human beings must have a state. We've always had a state.
We don't need
never not been a state in human
We don't need
society.
one. Taxation is theft.
Really not
No,
true.
it is not. That's retarded.
Taxation is theft.
Is theft, yes.
It absolutely is. How is it not
Taxation
theft?
is the allocation of resources
tax evasion may be a crime, but it is a moral
What happens if I?
You know what?
What happens if I don't pay
You should
taxes?
put the death penalty for tax evasion because you're robbing everybody when you do that.
Who am I robbing? How am I? What? Wait, if let's back out. Let's back out. Zoom out. Hold on. Let's zoom out a little bit. Let's zoom out a little. Let's zoom in a little bit.
Individualism is the death of all.
I got you.
There must be a
Let's zoom in a little bit.
balance.
Wait. Stop interrupting. Stop. Okay, I heard you. I get your point. Listen, let me respond.
I'm talking to him, not you,
Okay,
buddy.
let me
I'm not
respond.
talking to you, I'm talking
Let
to
me
him.
respond. Let me respond.
I'm not talking to you, I was talking to
This is
him.
my room.
I was
This is
talking
my
to
room. I don't care.
if it's
Don't
your
like.
room. I don't
It's
care
my
if it's your
room.
room.
Let me
I
respond.
don't care if it's your room.
Yeah. Okay. So fundamentally,
understand,
if
you're
let me
you're
respond.
stealing my
Let
liberty
me.
right now.
I'm not stealing
You're
anything.
stealing my
Let me.
liberty.
Let me. Are you scared to hear an argument that you?
stealing
Are you
my
scared?
liberty. I can't believe
No, you're
you.
scared. You're not letting me speak.
You're a thief.
Okay. So when if I don't pay tax,
like
if
capitalism.
I don't pay taxes, what thing that was in your possession that I took from your possession by force because I did not pay taxes?
That doesn't mean anything. What you
It
just said
does
there doesn't
because
mean
you're saying if I
What you're
no
conflating.
listen,
No, you're
if I
conflating. You're
don't pay
conflating.
taxes, I'm stealing something. So
conflating.
again,
No.
what did I steal?
Okay, it's simple. You stole actively, and by the way, this is how every system has always worked.
Doesn't
It's not
matter.
theft never has been theft. Okay.
Okay.
This is the issue. Okay.
So was slavery for a while.
It's not. What?
So was slavery
Again,
for a
Yoshi,
while.
Emotional arguments with you. You really need to stop with that. Jesus Christ.
I'm not
By the way,
emotional. You're emotional.
No. Like, shut the fuck up, retard. Either
Okay,
way.
says the emotional guy.
Now, either way, the issue here is it's not theft because A, it's for the betterment of all. If you are benefiting everybody, whether you enjoy it or not, it is not something that is theft. Utilitarianism is what human beings must strive to be.
Oh, okay. I got a perfect response for this. So let's say there's a beautiful utopia. This beautiful utopia, right? But-
Yes, Brave New World. Favorite book.
Yep. So let's say, but
We should live in that.
so let's say the only way to uphold this utopia is to perpetually torture and rape a child, and you have to do
Horrible
it.
argument because the answer is yes, obviously. You're retarded.
So you would torture and rape the child?
Yeah, the benefits of the many outweigh the benefits of the
Okay,
few.
wait.
shit.
No, wait. There's an extra. There's more to it. So as opposed to one child, let's say there's like 20 children. Would that make a difference?
It's proportional. No shit.
Okay, so what about 30 children?
You're retarded.
See,
Again,
50
if you have-
children?
If you have 10 dudes and you got to do 20
100
kids,
children?
then that doesn't make any
It
fucking
just ends
sense.
up being the
You're
trolley
retarded.
problem.
1 million children?
No, the trolley problem is quite obvious. You clearly
Wait, what about
told
1
them
million
what-
children?
You're just saying shit. at
Rape
this
and
point.
torture
It's
1 million children?
Stop with the emotional argumentation.
I'm not making it it's a question.
To say using children in general is obviously an emotional connotation. If you bring up adults saying, "Oh, you got to torture,"
Rape
an
and murder
adult, then
rape and
that-
murder 1 million
That's
adults.
completely different.
Okay, rape
Again,
and murder 1
is
million
also-
adults.
Rape and murder. Rape and murder is an emotional argument. If you say torture,
That's
that
not-
leaves.
Oh, it doesn't matter. Just answer the question. Yeah, you're dodging because you're scared.
I'm
You're
not
What kind
dodging.
of society would that be where you have to rape people so it's
I
a nice
know.
society?
I think that's
What
kind of
the fuck?
fucked up. That's the society Maxon supports.
Excellent.
That's the
Hold on,
support. That's what
excellent.
he supports.
I don't support that. I don't.
Yes, you
support
do.
that.
You just
But
said yes. Did he not say yes?
I'm completely fine.
Did he not
fucking
say
people
yes?
over. I have
Did he not say
I have
yes?
No fucking quarrels with that. It's the issue with him.
Oh,
This is the issue with what you're
exactly.
doing. Hold on. This is the issue with what
Exactly.
you're doing. You're making emotional argumentation. Stop
I'm
that.
not.
It's very sad.
I'm not.
The issue here
that's
is
a goofy
the
cop
only
out,
way.
by the way.
That's a
no,
cop
it's not
out.
a goofy cop out. Hold on. Here's what we're gonna do. Here's what we're gonna do. We're gonna do this. Okay, and we're gonna do this. Okay. The issue with what you're doing fundamentally is you are using something to show a belief in something that is fundamentally not to be emotional, whether it is to torture.
It's not an
X
emotion.
amount
Just
of
can you
people for
answer
X
the
amount of
question?
people's
Can you
benefit,
just answer
okay?
the
You bring
question?
children and women,
Can you just
whatever,
answer
into
the
it.
question?
Doesn't fucking matter.
Can you
What do
answer
to them
the
doesn't
question?
fucking matter. If it's like
Can
pricking
you
your finger,
answer
it
the
doesn't fucking
question?
matter. Okay.
Can
By
you
the way, that
answer?
argument used that setup here.
Look
You
how
get a
triggered,
so
bro.
and
You
so
are
many
so
adults who have
triggered
to,
right now.
Cause their lives to be slightly
blow my fucking
inconvenient for the
brains out.
betterment
Bro, you
of,
are so
the
triggered
majority
right
of
now.
people. Well, there. Okay, that's the argument.
Why
bring
are
in
you
this
so
rape setup,
triggered?
That's emotional manipulation right there. Very
Why are you so
disgusting
triggered?
and validates your own argument. So don't do that next time.
I could do whatever I want.
I think
Stop
you're
being so
pretty
triggered.
triggered, though,
You're
real
really
talk. You
triggered
sound
right
pretty
now.
triggered.
Yeah, you sound very triggered.
Bro.
So you would.
I'm
So
not.
how many children?
That's
So a
retarded.
million
Again, emotional
children,
manipulation.
2 million children. Like how many children we go up
Again,
to? Like how do we determine?
This is retarded.
How do we determine how many
You
children
are
we could
arguing
kill?
from a dishonest point.
It's not dishonest. I
Admit that.
just want to know.
It's
Like how do you
dishonest. Yeah, I already
determine?
went through of how you're dishonest.
Max, if I mow your lawn, do you owe
You're
me
being
money?
dishonest, bro.
If I just
What?
go to your house and mow your lawn, do you owe me money?
What does that have to do with anything?
Well, you think taxation isn't theft because you're given things for it. So if I mow your lawn, is that
No,
like,
that's
can I
not why
demand money from
taxation is
you?
theft. That's not why taxation is not theft. Taxation is for the betterment of all, not the betterment of one. Okay.
I
So
benefited
if-
you. I mowed
Hold
your
on.
lawn.
No, that means nothing. That means nothing because it's not.
I'm going to send you a bill for $5,000 now.
You benefited.
It's not for the
You
benefit of all, it's
benefited.
for the benefit of me.
Terrible
And
job.
also, no matter what, you are using the benefits of taxes. Right now, you are using the benefits of taxes. Every second of every day, you use the.
You
benefit of
benefited
taxes.
from the
Okay?
lawnmower.
No.
Yes, you
because that
did.
individual went there of their own volition. Society must exist lest your life be hell. Okay. No matter.
Wait,
what,
okay, how about this?
As always,
Wait, how about this?
society
using
has always
streets.
had governance and always
Dude.
had some form of taxation. You're never going to.
But
escape
you
it whether like it
benefited
or
from
not.
his
Dude.
lawn mowing.
You don't need taxes for roads.
You
Yes,
do.
you do.
No, you don't. You guys never heard
Yeah,
of a
you
toll
do.
road? You
You
guys
do.
never heard of a toll road?
You know what happens? Those
I mean,
people
businesses
make shit
need to
roads.
be able to
They
deliver
make shit
goods
roads.
to people.
You guys
know
don't
what
know
they
what a
do?
toll
I'm gonna
road
say
is?
it's
You know what
crazy.
they-
I'm
hold on,
pretty
you
sure
know
the
what they do?
businesses
They
would
make
actually invest.
Toll roads
in
are
the
way
roads.
toll roads are
Again,
way better than
capitalism-
private public
understand
roads.
Capitalism's bad. We need to get rid of that. Okay. Now,
Toll roads are wait.
the
Would
issue
you
with this
rather
and what
listen,
you're trying to say
Max?
here is
Max?
that one,
Max?
you should,
Max?
one,
Would
what
you?
you're arguing for is a form
Max?
of taxation? You fucking
Max?
retard.
Would you?
Absolutely
Max?
retarding.
Max?
It's a form of taxation.
Hello?
You're fucking
Hello?
stupid. Tolls are a form of
Max?
tax.
Can I?
Max,
Holy-
would you
holy
rather?
fucking
Would you
shit.
rather use a public toilet or a private toilet?
I wouldn't give a shit.
So if you had
I
to
would
choose
shit in
between
the
one,
toilet.
would you rather choose between like if you had to take a shit and there was a public toilet and then there was a private toilet? Which one would you rather use, the public toilet or the
Like,
private
you're asking
toilet?
if would I rather shit in my house or rather shit outside?
Yeah. Would you
like
rather?
at Walmart?
Or
I
yeah.
don't care.
Which one? Which
So you
flavor
wouldn't
one
care?
is
I don't
cleaner?
care.
Oh, okay.
It's a fucking toilet.
So if you had to lick a toilet, which one would you do? The public toilet or the
That's
private
retarded.
toilet?
What the fuck is that kind of what argumentation is that, you dishonest fuck? Keep it normal.
So
It's not dishonest. Private is always better than public. Always.
For the love of God, let me interject for a moment.
What the fuck is
So,
wrong
in
with you?
regards to the whole street argument, I'm
Wouldn't
just
say
going to remind everybody that it is a heavy there's a heavy incentive for the powers that be in a case where taxes don't pay for roads, for the corporations, businesses, and owners of the land themselves to fucking build their own damn roads. But people
So why wouldn't they be okay? Hold on. So why wouldn't they be okay with a centralized?
done.
Hold on. So why it hasn't been done? Because guess what? You get those mining towns I was talking about earlier, which were hellholes. Now this
No,
is
they
the
weren't.
issue with what you're trying to say here. Hold on. This is the issue with what you're trying to do here.
Modern
Okay?
nicety didn't.
Is that you are trying to
Building
say
roads
that
They were
somehow
based.
the lowest quality good, which is what a monopoly and company will always try to provide, because
they
that
can't.
is the best case scenario for them, will not do that because it gives them incentive. No, they just need to get it from
Oh
point A to
no,
point B.
their trucks,
Whilst the
their
government, on the
train
other hand,
derailed because
They want to get from point A to point B without damaging the vehicles.
has to secure a certain level of quality of life for its people, lest its people revolt. A company can force you to work for it. You argue for slavery. That's what you're arguing for right
Dude, you're
fucking
the
now.
one that. What happens if I don't pay taxes?
No one's gonna pay for roads. And wage slavery
What
is
happens if I don't
fucking
pay
bad.
taxes?
It's
Wait,
really
let me
bad,
ask you a question,
actually.
Max.
That's why we
What
need
do
to
you
get
think
rid of
about
a horrible
conscription?
system that
Wait, what do you think
incentivizes
about
it.
conscription?
Wow, it's almost like I'm the maximalist
Wait,
here
Max,
when it comes
Max,
to
what's your opinion on
meritocracy.
conscription?
That's actively what my government.
Do you think conscription should be banned? Do you think conscription should be banned?
What?
Do you think conscription should be banned?
It's for the betterment of all.
Okay, so then you do support slavery. That's slavery.
No. Okay, hold on here. This is the issue with what you're saying.
You support slavery.
There is forms of slavery that's betterment for the all.
Yeah, so you do support. So you're not against. You're sitting here acting
hold on.
like, oh my god.
If you're a slave for one man, then guess what? Guess what you are? A slave for no man. Okay? Because you're just a bitch. That's all you are. You are actively just a bitch. You benefit nobody but him. Okay? But if we take somebody that has done something wrong to society, if you take somebody that has done something wrong to society, such as a criminal, you put him into slavery, guess what? He can start repaying society.
Yeah, but conscription isn't a the people who get conscripted aren't criminals. They're innocent people.
If you have the Huns knocking at your door and nobody wants to fight, even though they want to genocide you, you got to force people to fight. That's a fucking
So you
dumb
do
thing
support.
to
So you
say.
do support slavery. You do think slavery is good.
Yeah, I support certain forms of it. I'm not acting like
Okay,
I don't.
so why
I'm
is
intellectually
this
honest.
form of slavery better than the others?
Yeah.
Well, like, why is it okay?
Why? Again, betterment of the whole. This is simple, and it's not something like okay.
cannot
Again,
stress to
it's
you
all
how
it's all
similar your rhetoric
voluntary.
is to
It's all
communists.
voluntary. You voluntarily sign up for the possibility of slavery.
It's eerily similar.
I never
But
signed the
you voluntarily
contract.
signed up
I
for
never
the possibility of
volunteer.
slavery.
I never
Yes,
volunteered.
you did. You
No,
know what
I
you
didn't.
Can do? You know what? Hold on. You know what you could do right now? You know what you could do right fucking now in the United
All right.
States of America? You know what you could do?
Selective
You could
service.
go be like an Amish man. They don't get conscripted. They
Yes,
don't
they
pay
do.
taxes. No, they don't.
Yes, they do.
They don't.
Yes, they do.
If you
They
don't, if
literally
you don't
pay
want to go,
taxes.
if you think,
And they do
if
pay
you-
taxes.
You have some kind of religious belief. They hold on. That is a
Amish
misnomer.
people
They don't
pay taxes.
unless they start participating in the system. If they participate in the
You don't know
system,
what I mean.
then they pay
That's
taxes.
yeah. I don't
They're
think that's
retarded.
true. I don't think that's true. I think they
It is
do pay
true.
taxes. No.
They are American citizens, so they are literally under the beck and call of the IRS. So
Yeah,
here's
good.
the thing,
I
right?
think we should
They're
make
not
them stop
they're
believing
not
what they believe.
even native territories, which are technically independent
Yeah, they
states,
pay taxes. Yeah, congrats. Yeah, guess what? What's your point? You're
No, that
actively
go.
taking what I'm saying.
No, the point
Oh,
we're making is that the argument you made was incorrect. The argument that you made was incorrect. You
It's
said
almost
the
like that's the
Amish.
entire basis of libertarianism, straw manning.
It's not about strawmanning. You just
it's
made
the
a
basis of the
wrong
most powerful
claim.
nation to ever exist on the planet. But
Oh wait,
you
so
know,
you mean hold on, you mean the United States of America, which during its most economically prosperous time used a socialistic and technocratic kind of government system? Oh my God! Oh wait, what about
Technocratic by
Singapore,
what
which
fucking
is really kind of
definition? Holy
technocratic?
shit.
Oh my God!
What is that?
By
You're
what
fucking
definition?
retarded.
ECP
Oh,
technocratic. The technocratic thing cannot deal with the ECP.
I didn't. Hey guys, I didn't.
There's
know
no
the,
bidding. There's no
petrodollar was
competition. There's no
technocratic.
rational
That's
allocation.
new to me.
Technocracy
either way.
cannot solve the ECP.
Technocracy can do whatever it so please. Either way, I'm
It
done
can't
arguing
solve
with
the
these fucking
ECP.
retards. I'll leave it
You're
to
a
you,
retard.
JR.
Technocracy.
You're a retard.
Okay.
She fucking.
Oh my God! You guys support
Fucking
slavery.
retard.
What do you think about conscription? I think slavery's all right.
I think you should die.
By the way, if you ask him what race he is, he says Anglo-Saxon. He's just mega cringe.
Anglo-Saxon. Doesn't
He
that just
doesn't
mean
say
white?
European or Caucasian. He just says Anglo-Saxon. make.
Doesn't that just mean white?
Yes, it literally just means white. He's just
Okay.
a pretentious douche. He's like the opposite end of the spectrum of like a certain cousin fucking fellow.
Are you talking about Muslims?
No, Apache.
Oh, okay. Those are the other cousin fuckers. I know because I seen this one debate with Andrew Wilson recently where he was talking to some Muslim guy, and he was talking about like Muslims, like they have like extremely high rates of cousin marriage.
Of incestuous.
Yeah, like cousin marriage.
Of incest on the planet.
Yeah, and because of that, they have like really lower. They have
There's
lower
a lot
IQs.
of people who argue like statistically about incestuous, let's just say children, in regards to cousins. When for one or two generations, there won't be issues, but that shit compounds multiplicatively over generations, and after you get to like 10 to 15, shit starts to get really fucking weird. And before you know it, everyone's retarded. So
yeah, that's not good.
It's kind of a problem. It's a real shame what happened in the Middle East post 1200 AD. It's a real shame. Fuck the Ottomans. Fuck the Turks, dude.
It happened before the Ottomans. About 1400 years ago in Saudi Arabia.
Bring back the golden age. Make.
We need to bring back the old ways.
Make Semitics cool again.
We need to bring back the old ways.
You're talking about whenever you see too many Muslims in Spain, you just immediately decide to fucking crusade them.
Who's Ben Herman?
Ottomans basically fucked up Spain and called it Andalus.
So, do you guys think we should legalize drugs and guns and prostitution, or?
I mean, I'm all about legalizing guns. Don't get me wrong. Those other two things are up for argument, though.
Why not, bro? What if I want to do cocaine and fuck a hooker? Like, what's the problem?
As the libertarian in me says yes, but the ethics say no.
Well, I mean, you could still think it's wrong
People
or degenerate or whatever.
People ought not to do drugs. I'm not saying whether or not they can or can't, but they ought not to do it. Should be heavily disencouraged.
Well, that's fine. You could think that. There's nothing wrong with that.
I think a state that makes money off its own people's suffering is pretty fucking ridiculous.
So don't tax drugs.
If we legalize drugs, we would see more suffering. We would see more addicted people and more lives.
I mean, you could make an argument for they would be safer drugs, but even then, it still rubs me the wrong way, you know.
Even if you consume weed, you will be more curious to try other drugs after some time.
I mean,
not all people
any
are
mind-altering
like this,
substance
but-
is a gateway drug.
This is not. Any what?
Islam is the
Any
worst
mind-altering
religion
substance
ever.
is a gateway drug. With the exceptions of obviously the things you normally consume.
So
those being like obviously carbohydrates.
I should be allowed to put cocaine in my body. It's my body, my choice.
No. Okay, I have an argument actually for pro cocaine. Okay, so in order to buy cocaine legally, you have to be an engineer or have an MD.
Why?
Bro, have you never seen pictures of Lockheed in the 1950s with the suspicious white substances on every table? And NASA, they were coked out of their minds, homie, in the 1950s. Oh, it's great. Even Stephen King was coked out of his mind.
Yeah, I think that we need to legalize all drugs fundamentally, because
I know I have an extremely obviously this is very biased because it's based on personal experience, anecdotally, but I think most drug addicts should just get it over with and just overdose.
I think that. What do you think about prostitution?
You see, as a man of mutual respect, I also have a very hard time, like ethically looking upon a prostitute and thinking, yeah, she's successful, she's doing what she wants to. This totally isn't going to negatively impact her in any way. Like it's
No, I mean,
just
you could. Okay,
She can choose
here's the
to do
thing, right?
something else.
The thing is, right? Libertarianism doesn't tell you whether or not something is ethical or unethical, like in the sense that, like, oh,
it's what
you
people
should
ought
do
to
something. Yeah, like what you ought to do. Like, it just tells you what you shouldn't do, in the sense that, like, you shouldn't force somebody not to. Yeah.
Its principles are based on the inalienable individual rights of the individual.
It's based on self-ownership.
Yeah.
So yeah, so like you could think like, oh, it's not a good
Thomas
idea.
Jefferson and
It's mainly
Benjamin
just
Franklin
property
were
rights.
mega fucking based.
So you could think it's you shouldn't have people should not like do drugs, right? But at the end of the day, they shouldn't be stopped because that's your right. And if you have a covenant community,
I mean,
like,
it's a
you
waste
could
of
be
time stopping them.
Yeah.
All you do is end up putting them through the system and rehab just from the repeat.
So we should legalize it, all drugs.
And I don't want to say in the issue of
And
will
prostitution.
will it become more common?
I
Will
mean,
it
who
become
knows?
Common practice.
It depends on the community. So, for instance, if we legalize drugs, do you think Amish people are just going to start doing crack, or in Amish communities, you're just going to see an increase of people doing drugs? Well, no, because in that community, they have private property arrangements in which people generally who are doing drugs don't go there. If they see somebody doing drugs on their property, they kick their asses out. So it really just depends on the people who are in that community. If they want to do drugs, then they'll do it. If they don't want to, then they won't.
I'd rather focus on abolishing the government.
Yes.
I don't.
But no,
see,
I think we need to abolish the prostitution laws first, and then
You see, no,
So you need to abolish the government first.
Okay, so here's my issue.
If you
with
abolish
that.
the government, then those laws don't exist.
I believe.
Well,
that
that
the
is
central
true, but, I take what I can
A
get.
very minimally powered central government should exist to some degree. Okay, to a very minute degree, at least in the context of a large nation. But they should not be in charge of education or property
What's up?
rights or anything of the sort.
What's up?
Voting doesn't achieve anything.
It really doesn't. Sometimes.
I never said that.
But you're like, oh, we should abolish these laws rather than just abolishing the government itself.
No. I said I take what I can get. If we can convince people to legalize prostitution, I think that's good.
No, you just convince them.
Like if I can press a,
the government's illegitimate.
I mean, you could say the government's illegitimate, but that's not gonna just make it go away. You gotta like convince people a little bit, one way or another.
I mean, if enough people stop paying taxes, it disappears.
Well, let's do that.
Most people aren't willing
People
to take
stop
that
paying
risk.
taxes, the government goes
I mean,
away.
listen, I don't disagree with you on the abolishing the state thing.
I don't believe in abolishing the state. I believe in abolishing large governments.
Yeah, I don't think. So you're a minarchist.
I'm what they would call a classical libertarian. I personally believe that
Minimal government.
individual counties and states, parishes,
Yeah.
what have you, should have
Having
the
a
ability
piece
to
of paper
legislate
saying what the
themselves.
government cannot do. Well, we've already tried that. They already ignore what the Constitution says in the Bill of Rights.
It is true.
Paper doesn't protect your rights at all.
Nope, that's why the second exists.
They infringe on that all the time.
A gun right? There's no such thing as a
Second
gun
Amendment
right. It's
is
just a property right.
The
Okay,
Second
bro.
Amendment is just scribble on paper.
I mean, it is the most simple.
Nothing actually protects your rights.
It is the
is
most
the
simple
willingness
of
to use
amendments, and
firearms.
it is comical the way anti-gunners will change the definition of words, like over time, to convince themselves that it means something completely different. It literally is being said from the point of an individualist, as in to regulate oneself. But they use the word well regulated as if that means the government should oversee guns because they're fucking stupid. It's very convenient.
Yeah, why would the government give itself? Why was the government giving itself the right to own guns? That doesn't make sense.
It makes no. If you actually pay attention to how the ATF uses the words to define things, like what is a gun and what isn't, it's actually really absurd.
The best argument against government is you cannot delegate a right that you don't have yourself.
Me, I'm not a pure I don't know. Abolishing an entire your idea of a government. I'm not an anarchist. I don't think that'll work out too well.
We need to abolish it and replace it with private property anarchy.
I wouldn't really call that anarchy, though.
Yeah, it is. Trust.
Now, I guess I'm more moderate, but in the context of a moderate society, you could make reasonable exceptions for taxes and the like for those who own below a certain amount of land, unless they're agricultural, which should be the exception to that rule. Like, there's no reason why I, for example, have to pay property taxes for 2 acres of land that I fucking own. The government can come and take it from me if I don't pay taxes.
You only own land that you homestead.
I love it when people talk shit in my comments because it's just like, okay, you're talking shit in my comment section, but you're watching me, so it's just like, why are you watching me if you hate me?
You've never hate-watched, like, a really bad movie?
Not really. I feel like I can't hate watch something. It just annoys me.
Dude, hate watching was literally my hobby for years.
It just, I don't know. That doesn't make sense to me.
I just went to theaters and spent money to see Star Wars Episode 7, 8, and 9 not to hate
I did not pay for it. I would not pay for that.
I fuck out of those movies, and I laughed the entire time with the homies.
Dude, that movie was ass.
Dagger, and we started dying, dude. In the theater, it was too good.
The problem with trying to convince people that prostitution should be legal is if they think the government's legitimate, then that argument's going to fail. They have to understand that the government isn't legitimate to begin with.
Well, no, you can argue that prostitution should be legal because, like, it leads to good outcomes. Like,
but statists believe that the government's legitimate.
Well, yes, but like, well,
legitimately think that the government owns all the land that they claim.
We can't just press a button and make the government go away. Obviously, like if somebody says should we legalize prostitution, I'm gonna be like, hell yeah.
I mean,
well, I don't actually care about as a statist myself. I don't actually care about the word
filthy statist.
I know it's
However, when everybody decides not to follow a law, though, it's never enforced. Like, if you look,
yes,
I mean, this applies to every nation. Look at all the laws on your books, and then actually look at them and see how many of them people actually follow and how many are enforced. It's comical how many there are that are just not enforced. Like, in some places in Colorado, it is legitimately a legal requirement to open carry a firearm if you're outside. But no one does that, obviously. Mass disobedience is just this. Like, they can't enforce it. You can't.
If the government tells me to carry a gun, I'm not going to do it.
It's not really disobedience, more or less ignorance that the law even exists.
A lot of the police probably don't even know that shit exists.
Yeah, there's too many laws.
Fuck, some of those laws probably never even got transcribed to a digital form, so they're probably just fucking on paper in some archive somewhere that nobody fucking remembers.
Cover me, cover me, cover me, cover me. Fuck! Sorry, I'm playing video games.
So much. Be fun.
Grand Theft Auto.
Oh. Bad.
Bad game. The single player story is good. Online is mid.
Yeah, sure.
I like to do the heist.
GTA 6 being delayed is the government's fault.
I agree.
Yes.
Whenever there's a problem,
this is another reason among the many reasons to hate the state.
I literally do not care about GTA 6 though, so like mood argument.
I do. I love GTA.
They should have just made a full zombie game called. They should have just took Red Dead Redemption's zombie mode and just made a full game out of it already. Like, I don't
Oh,
know
that
why
would
the
have been
fuck they
so
didn't have it
cool.
already. Undead Nightmares
Red
is
Dead
like the best
Redemption was
DLC,
the
one of the best
better
DLCs I've ever played, and they just forgot.
Yeah, that shit was
Like,
awesome.
go fuck yourself.
I mean, the only way a full anarchism can work is that if you abolish all governments in the world, like there was no government to subsidize.
Oh wow,
or
communists make the
invade
exact
other-
same argument. I wonder why that doesn't work.
No, that's not true. We can have it
so,
in another,
It's like communism. It has to be perfect in order to work. I support minor anarchism, but I don't support full anarchism.
Well, what do you mean? There's either anarchism or there isn't. There's no like. It's not really a gradient. Like you're either anarchist or you're not. Or a society is anarchist or it's not.
No, I believe in like
Well,
a small
technically,
government. Wow. And
technically,
Do you support a limited government? Like, what do you mean?
technically,
No,
we already
not
live
eliminated.
in an.
small government.
Okay.
Technically, we already live in Ancapistan. We just have this massive,
Yeah.
this
I live in
massive,
Ancapistan in my head.
gang of thugs that claim the right to rule everyone.
Yeah, then it's not in Capistan.
We already live in Ancapistan. It's just that there's a massive company town that is the size of the entire continental United States.
Sadly, we live in a cyberpunk.
It's not a company town, bro. It's a state.
We live in a cyberpunk
same
dystopia
thing.
without the cool shit. This is bullshit. I didn't sign up
doesn't
for
make
this.
any
I want to
sense.
be Chrome. Let me Chrome the fuck up already, damn it.
Cyberpunk
Why do you guys always
2077
hate
is like-
watch?
Cyberpunk 2077 is like the single worst like cyberpunk media.
It is.
If people simply
Yes.
started using Monero and stopped paying taxes, the government would cease to exist.
As a man who,
Okay.
as a casual Shadowrun enjoyer, can confirm. I have a feeling nobody knows what Shadowrunner 2067 is.
Not really.
Who's gonna remember 30-year-old tabletop games, dude?
I didn't even know what Cyberpunk was before 2070, honestly.
Yeah. There's a whole
I won't play
tabletop
Arden.
game. It's like D&D, homie.
No, I didn't.
Have you heard of the cyberpunk novel Snow Crash?
No.
I'll take that as a no.
No.
Do any of you watch Star Wars?
Hell yeah!
I
Every character on that show is a statist.
Disgusting!
Good.
Princess Leia is a thug.
They're all a part of it. I
Oh,
think
yeah,
the
Queen
rebels.
Amidala is a piece
I
of
think the
shit.
Because
rebels
she
and
claims
the Empire
she
are
claims the right
bad.
to rule, right? So she's a thug.
I think the
fucking
Empire and the rebels are bad. They're both bad.
We hate Queen
Fucking
Amidala.
tyrant.
We hate that bitch.
Every character on the show is a villain because they're all working for the government or something.
They're all statists.
Well, it's
Yeah.
not just the status; they're all working for the government. So they're all evil.
Really?
They're all
I guess
evil.
so. What about Yoda?
Yoda, I give
Yeah,
him a pass. I give him a pass.
For the government
I
too,
give
so he's
Yoda a
evil as
pass.
well.
I give
No,
Yoda a
Yoda's
pass.
a thug as well. He worked for
No.
the
Yoda's like
government.
objectively one of the least moral characters.
I don't know.
I don't know. I think he's
Work for the
okay. I think
government.
he's all right. I think he's
Well,
all
it's not just
right.
a matter of did he work for the government. He wholeheartedly believes in a flawed system that he knows is flawed.
Padme's also a thug.
He listen, bro. Sometimes you have to crack a few eggs in order to make an omelet. You know what I'm saying?
Remember, guys, the prophecy that bring balance to the Force does include killing all the fucking Jedi, too. Never forget that.
Kill the younglings.
Like, the Force is.
This is
unfeeling as
another
fuck.
reason why Islam is the worst religion ever.
There's nothing to do with it.
Imagine the 3.5 millionth motherfucker, 3.5 millionth motherfucker being called Muhammad comes and just fucks everything up for the next 1,000 years. Like, holy shit.
Wise words from a junkie. I'm not a junkie.
Like the people who know themselves as Muslims are probably maybe 500 million Because you know these countries, Muslim countries, they don't like
It will die out, hopefully.
ask your opinion about your religion.
Well, sadly,
Just,
the ideas
just
such
be
as
smart.
Islam are so pervasive in their own societies, and they reproduce so quickly. I really doubt it'll go away anytime soon. Unless they've been literally living on the empathy of other people to not fucking decimate them for the past 500 years, to not just wipe them off the face of the planet. So because there was nothing preventing the absolute genocide of all Semitic peoples. Like there was nothing preventing it for like the past 500 years.
Yeah,
Except
bro.
It's just not reasonable.
Yeah, well,
Except
like,
for
genocide is bad,
reasonability.
so it's probably a good thing that we didn't do that.
Yeah, of course. I think genocide's unreasonable. Well, but there was nothing.
If Islam is so
Just
great, why do they
unreasonable.
always?
Wait,
Why
hold
do
on.
Islam
A
always
little bit,
lose? If they're so great, why do they always lose?
They suck.
They did have like a massive empire at one point.
I mean,
like,
Yeah, but then they lost.
Don't forget, Nigeria and Ethiopia both kicked Islam's ass. Don't
Yeah,
forget
bro.
that.
Why does Islam always lose? That's what I always wonder.
Well,
Even
granted,
Islam, even when I
Nigeria at
ask,
that point in
even
time
when I
was
ask Islamic people, why does
the
Islam
Taliban won
always?
the Afghan war.
Isn't it kind of crazy? Like Islamic people lose all the time. That even when I ask them, Islamic people, why do Islamic people always lose? They never say we don't lose. They say, well, we lose because of this.
You know, it's like trying to ask your Russian,
They're like, oh no, we lose because
naval battles to fucking landlocked.
it's not our fault.
So it's just not gonna work. You're not gonna get any help. You're not gonna. Way.
I think all religions are scams, and this is one of the greatest scams ever created for humankind.
Islam is the
What's a
worst.
scam?
You know, it's not like there were genuine prophets for every religion. Like some of them, like the one you talked about, there were probably scams that wanted power and wealth.
If
so they
God
spread
exists,
some word.
if God exists, He owns the entire universe. It's His
Therefore,
private
he's a
property.
statist.
And we're all
If God
trespassers.
exists, the entire universe is His private property.
Yeah, because you made it. Exactly.
We're all
Yeah.
trespassers.
Yeah, so you
Luckily,
need His
God's not real.
permission to breathe because He owns the oxygen.
Yes.
Wait, but
We are
Is
all
that God's
trespassing
just
on
real?
God's. We are all trespassing on God's
Are the children
property.
of a person their fucking property forever? No, we're adults now. Therefore, we have our own autonomy.
Yeah, but you don't
So
own
why
the air
fuck-
you breathe.
So I should be able to buy his private property. God, what the fuck?
Yeah, but you can't act.
Give me
But
Jupiter, motherfucker. It's mine.
you gotta get his
What?
you gotta get his permission.
But how?
If you walk onto someone's
I don't
property,
know.
if you walk,
Oh shit.
if you walk onto someone's property and they invited you in, but you start breathing
The
and they
Green
didn't give
Party
you permission to
101,
breathe,
everybody.
you're
shoot
stealing
them.
their oxygen.
You shoot them.
You're
Is this how
stealing their
conversations
oxygen,
in
You
so
the
you're
shoot
a
them.
party go?
thief.
Is this how they actually are? Like,
Yes.
Because I mean, our party is the worst. Get a bunch of Ancaps and then have them agree on legislation. It's just not gonna work.
Well,
it's just not gonna.
ideally
fucking
there
work.
wouldn't
There's
be
not gonna
any.
be
Ideally, there wouldn't be any
stuff.
ANCAPs in government.
Well,
Like
no, I'm
a
talking about the
fucking
Green Party.
state, like-
That's effectively what they are, but they fucking suck because of
Green
it.
Party.
They're
I would
retarded.
hopefully. I would
Libertarian
expect them to be the black and yellow party. Hopefully.
They're really funny. They're really funny, like libertarians or not libertarians. It's really hard to tell who the libertarians are because they're all like,
And
oh,
they
we
probably
should
aren't.
or shouldn't.
They're not
legislate.
real libertarians.
Yeah, they're just trolling, dude.
Are bees and caps? They're literally black and yellow.
Oh shit.
When you
No, we're
when
not.
you
We
talk-
don't. It's not black and yellow. It's black and gold, bro. Okay.
when you talk to a random stranger, aren't you violating their property rights because you're vibrating their eardrums
Yes.
against their consent?
Yes. Yes.
Yes, I
No.
shoot people whenever they say something to me because they're
Yes.
violating my private property. That is my ear canal.
Yeah,
with
they're
their
vibrating your
vibration.
eardrums. You didn't give
Yeah.
prior consent.
Yes. You need to pay
By
every time you
non-aggression
talk to
principle
someone. You need to
standards,
pay them restitution.
Actually, my
you're
neighborhood
not.
is under mutually assured destruction.
Isn't the restitution decided by the victim? So I demand $1 million.
Yes.
You see, my
$1 trillion.
My local town is under mutually
If somebody
assured
speaks to
destruction
you, you could
principle
just enslave them
because
for all
everyone owns
eternity.
Nuclear warheads. So we just decided that okay, let's just calm the fuck down, and here we are.
If someone speaks to you, you can enslave them.
Yep.
I agree.
I decided to teleport the sun, so now I own the sun.
Oh.
It's now across the universe in another galaxy.
I homesteaded the sun by looking at it.
U.S. government put the flag there first,
so
therefore
I
the
did
U.S.
nothing wrong, right? I teleported the sun to another galaxy,
You
so
mean
I
you
did nothing wrong.
Did you use a teleportation device?
Who
Yeah, I
made the
teleported the sun.
teleportation device?
I mean, okay.
I teleported
so
the sun.
I don't think
I
anybody
teleported
owns
the
the
sun.
sun right now.
Oh no, I do. I do now because I homesteaded
Alright.
it. I teleportation.
homesteaded it to
I homesteaded it.
astronomical unit.
Well, actually, Neil
cool.
Armstrong is the owner of the moon because he was
Yeah,
the
he
first one
homesteaded
there.
it.
He
Oh,
homesteaded
you didn't
it.
homestead the whole moon.
But-
No, bro. He
Flag there.
homesteaded
Is
the
it
whole
because he
moon.
touched it?
He touched it first.
Yeah.
I mean, you don't homestead something.
It's like tag. It's like tag.
However, we have
He
to
used-
admit though. You have to
he
admit
used-
though.
Well, I mean,
people can
if you
feel things
whoever was
first,
the
too.
whoever was the first person to look at the moon, whoever was the
We
first
are
person
going
to look at the moon.
Hang on, he used a government. He used a government spaceship to get there, so the property to get there wasn't legitimate to begin with.
Yes.
Oh, fuck.
I mean, I don't know if that's really relevant as to whether he could homestead the moon.
Was Jesus white?
I would say he was. You see, I will admit, could he be pale skinned? Sure, but he would look like Osama bin Laden, about 5'1", with a big ass beard. Okay. If we're going to assume he's from Jesus of Nazareth, okay. If we're going to be anatomically consistent, taxonomically consistent with how humans look, okay. Especially at that time, dude would be like 5'1".
I guess so.
5'1"
You can
Osama bin
find,
Laden, motherfucker.
You can find a white phenotype and blonde people.
I actually have a black Jesus figure on my
and
desk.
I think back in that time, there was a great number of white people in that area.
Oh my god.
So Jesus was white?
I'm not saying he was, but it's possible. Like, it's not impossible. Like, if he was in China, I would say it's like impossible.
Also, if you're let's just say you're married, right? And your wife is pregnant. You never had sex, right? And then 3 dudes show up to give her gifts when she gives birth. Are you gonna be questioning some shit? I'd be questioning.
I'd stone her.
Like, I'd be like, hey, yo, hold up, hold up. What do you mean?
I'd call Andrew Tate to set her in line.
What color is
The
your
fuck
Bugatti?
did you? Who said my name?
Guys, what color is your Bugatti?
I don't own shit cars.
White, black and gold.
I see.
You see, I riced out a Camry because I thought it was funny, and it was worth it. It's very funny. They never expect the Camry with 500 horsepower.
I died.
Does uBlock Origin violate the property rights of YouTube?
Yes.
Because you're accessing their servers and blocking
Sorry.
ads.
So fucking funny.
Oh, I'm a criminal.
You need
because I
to
used
pay them
uBlock Origin
restitution.
on
Yes.
YouTube.
Oh
You need to pay them restitution.
That is fucking genius.
We don't believe in intellectual property, by the way.
But
No,
that's
but
not
you're
intellectual
accessing their
property, that's just, like,
servers.
refusing to pay for the
Which is
service.
their private property.
Yeah, their servers
A
are
server-
an
a
actual
server is
physical
not a
location.
It's not a physical object you could like do anything
Yeah,
to.
no, it is though. They have server rooms.
I mean, if you went into the server room itself, the physical server room itself,
You're
and damaged
accessing a
it.
data point from the server room.
You're
I mean, if
getting
you're
unauthorized
physically
permission to their
physically
private
going
property?
onto their property, then yeah, you could trespass them. Yeah.
No,
You're
you're
trespassing onto their
trespassing
property.
your own computer because you're
What?
not allowed to have access to it because you have uBlock.
Are you telling me when people?
Well, it
give me
depends on how you're. It
unsolicited
depends
phone
on how
calls,
you're
they're
accessing it.
abusing my private property.
It depends on how you're accessing it.
If I'm getting unsolicited phone calls from my mother, can I assume that she is in fact part of the
Illuminati.
big state trying to call me at that point in time?
Maybe yes. And you could just shoot her right in the head.
Mom! Joking. She does live with me. I hope that didn't just wake her up. That'd be really funny.
She's gonna be like, "Oh my God, my son."
She's my dependent. Because I get paid more to have a dependent. LOL.
Well, that's the purpose of having kids, so they can take care of you in your old age.
Yeah, kind of.
Unless you rely on the government.
Well, I'm
What if they
paid by.
refuse to?
The sad thing is I am in fact paid by tax dollars.
What if they just like what if they just refuse to take care of you?
And
I'm
then
what
you're,
they call
then
it
you're
then.
shit out of
Then
luck.
Get put in the nursing home. Shouldn't have took my Xbox away, bitch. What?
Parents should adopt. I mean, the parents should give the child up for adoption.
Especially if they're a single mother.
Well, if only if she can't look after the child.
I don't like single mothers.
I hate single mothers.
Me too.
Same.
They're the worst humans on earth. Hitler
Yes.
was better than every single mother.
Oh my God. Okay, take it easy, bro. Okay, whoa. Take it easy. Take it easy.
I guess.
It's like, sheesh. I didn't think they were that bad.
I mean, a lot of them are really bad, though. The issue with single mothers is it's cyclical.
It's unsightly.
And it just perpetually gets worse.
Wrong for me to build a Dyson sphere around the sun and block out all the sunlight.
It's my sunlight now, bitch.
Yeah, it's my sunlight.
I'm just saying, if everyone has portable nuclear devices, they will never be violent with each other.
Dude, if we all had a nuke, there would never be nuclear warfare because everyone would be afraid of getting nuked because everyone has a nuke.
Like, no one would do
Those
shit.
nukes would probably
No one's
accidentally
gonna-
explode.
Hold on.
No,
That
why
wouldn't
would you
work.
accidentally nuke yourself? You would be afraid of getting nuked yourself. So if you want to, obviously you wouldn't want to never nuke. It's
the
called
bomb
nuke.
just
You
accidentally
ever heard
goes
of
off.
mutually assured destruction, bro?
King.
I don't believe in it.
No, the
What if
nukes
I
just
wanna-
accidentally go off.
King.
What- what's
if I
up? What's
want to
up?
end the world and myself? What if I just want to kill myself and then kill everyone else?
No one's
Then
gonna
that
ever
would be
want to
like the
do that,
easiest way.
bro. No one's gonna want to do
I
that.
You see, I,
What if-
you
what
see,
if-
Why would
I've
you
met
ever-
a
no
lot of
one's gonna-
communists in my
It should
day,
be an
and I gotta say.
Ancaps movie
That's-
with this
no
villain
one's
who
gonna ever
teleports
wanna
the
do
sun
that,
and kills
bro.
everyone.
Have you ever talked to an anarchist or communist?
They're just joking around, bro. They're not serious.
They're memeing.
There should be,
Yeah,
there
they're
should be an Ancaps movie. There should be
They're
an
not
Ancaps
serious.
movie with a villain who teleports to the sun and then
Guys,
tells
I
everyone,
apologize,
"You
I
can't do
got
anything
Trump-
to me. I didn't violate the nap."
Hey guys, I apologize. I may have gotten Trump elected twice on accident 'cause I thought it was really, really funny both times.
Shit, bro.
It was really funny. Me and the homies
I hope
made
it paid
Frog
off.
a global hate symbol.
It's singularly.
I hope it all paid off.
singularly Your fault. Also, Trump
me
isn't
and-
even that funny.
No,
Curtis
getting
Lewa is
him
the funniest
elected was the
politician.
funny part.
Yeah.
guess
You know,
what?
I don't really
Before that,
support
he was
women
just
in
a
power.
weird
I don't support
WWE
women's
rich
rights,
guy in
so
a stupid building.
I didn't want Hillary to win.
I just
So
thought it
that's,
was really funny. You know how funny it was to see people melt down on Twitter when I started sending Hillary pee pee poo poo on Twitter? Like, do you know how fucking funny that shit was?
I think
You
Walter
wanna know
Block
how,
voted for Trump.
You wanna know how fucking funny it was when Trump lost again, and then they tried to overthrow the government?
Yeah, that was
The
hilarious.
worst insurrection I've ever seen if that was an insurrection.
Yeah, that's what I was kind of thinking of. You know, it's weird. I've never seen an insurrection where they show up without weapons, but maybe I don't know something.
BLM
JR, you
riots
might know
were-
something I know more, right? Hold up. So, how does an insurrection work against an armed like government when you're an unarmed populace? Could you inform me?
Yeah, bro.
Maybe they're just really stupid.
Oh no!
Maybe
like,
that's what it was.
Like Jan 6 was never gonna work. Like what the fuck do you?
Oh, so they were just really stupid. That's your implication.
They were just really stupid. Yeah. Obviously.
Oh, okay. So they just thought they
I
were
think
going to
some
get in
of them,
there and
like,
like
I
shake
think
their, and they just thought they were like going to shake the congressman's hand, and they were just like, "All right, we're throwing the government, and you have to concede now."
I can't move.
Yeah,
Yeah,
I
they
think
were
I
very
think January 6th is comically overblown compared to way worse shit that occurred. Like, I don't know, all of the 90s.
As a decade, just all of the 90s.
Yes, the entire decade was dog
Right.
shit in terms of just
Listen,
raw
it is-
fucking violent outbursts of population.
January
I'm
6th
gonna-
is absolutely a worrisome
The 90s
event.
was like the 90s
but to
was like the
pretend
best
like
decade.
it is some, yeah, the
You see,
January 6th
culturally
was
maybe,
worrisome,
but there was
to pretend
some.
like it was an actual overthrowing the government is fucking delusional.
There was a lot of completely comically heinous events.
King, are you streaming? Is that what you mean by live?
Like the
Yeah.
Rodney King riots
Where are you
were
streaming?
fucking retarded.
YouTube, and TikTok, Kick, and Twitch.
Drop your channel, man.
Sure.
I'm gonna sell a product and then make the person sign a 200-page agreement, and on page 115 on it, it's gonna say like, "You're now my slave for life, and you owe me 50% of your income money for the rest of your life as well."
It's in the side chat now.
Appreciate
Know what I love? Know what I love about libertarians and like people
Rumpelstiltskin.
who are pro small government? They all are willing to meme on themselves. You know, that's the best part.
You can't take it too serious. We're gonna lose anyways.
Yeah, we're
you
gonna
are.
lose by default. We just got to meme about it.
Yeah.
You know,
Oh yeah. That's why.
Like, I mean, the right is pretty good at memeing too, but they're memeing in a different.
I find libertarians incredibly non-threatening because they like have zero coherent like plan of how they plan to like. Yeah, you do just be trolling. You do just be
trolling. We have an ethic that we're very strict about.
Yeah, bro.
That's
Imagine not wanting to aggress against people. Wow.
like our entire existence is the non-aggression principle. However, we will act. That's that separates libertarians from others. We're not like we're not like the really cringe libs who for some reason believe that any violent action towards anybody at any time is fucking bad. No. Some people need to fucking die.
How do you feel about
Pacifists.
Brian Thompson? Brian Thompson, United Healthcare CEO, getting slimed.
He did
by
not deserve to die.
Norwegian-
I don't think he deserved.
There shouldn't be a monopoly on health services.
I agree.
Didn't he use government violence to get his way though, like forcing out competition?
Yeah, you see, that whole
That's the
whole
problem
thing
with
is really
that
fucking.
CEO. He uses government violence to get his way. It's really
Well,
hard for me to have sympathy when someone uses government.
Oh, I have no
force.
sympathy for the
Well,
man
I don't.
either. Trust
I
me.
don't think he
but-
deserved to get shot. I don't know.
But, I do believe in the courts. Now, if someone is actively,
I thought you believed in private courts.
Now,
Oh my
private court,
god.
that'd go. I mean, private court be based as fuck. But
Anyways, guys, I gotta go because I'm getting tired. So.
but in
Have a good night.
context of for example, if someone violates